Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we're ready to give you feedback. That's right, podcast time on a Saturday morning, feedback time. That means you guys said things throughout the week that we need to respond to, let you know where we stand on everything. And as always, it's on business. That's where we stand. But
on business.
You can always, do all the stuff in the show notes to leave us feedback. We read it. We tell you how we feel. We know you don't always agree. We get it. The official weapon of the show is
phone chair,
and the unofficial sport,
bullet ball.
And bullet ball, extreme. And I mean, look, you know what it is. We just got to get right on into it, okay? Let's just talk about everything. Let's just get to the people that gave us money, okay? Y'all know who you are, and we know who you are, and we know you need a shout out.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks of time to the Black Guy Who Tips.
That's right. New day, new pay. Let's talk about Bomani J. Bomani Jones. You know him from the right time. He gave us some money. Jane M. Laura E. Noel W. Pete B. Miss Barnes. Johanna M. Ricky A. Pretty Rick, what they call him. Douglas R. Laura F. Chris from Hawaii. April G. Corey, a.k.a. The Tickler. And lastly, Tabitha M. Thank you, everybody, for coming through in this holiday season and giving us them gifts and them donations. Speaking of gifts and donations, some of y'all donated us 5-star reviews. We love those. We got 3 new ones, okay? They all from the United States of America. So our global listeners, if you out there, we'd love to hear from you.
We will.
Okay, we're an international podcast. We see the charts.
We know y'all is over there on the other side of the water.
We know we big in TNT, okay? Love it. Thank you, says Shelly029. Okay, thank you. And you're welcome. Thank you for leaving us a 5-star review.
Yay!
Awesome show, edutainment of inspiration and aspiration, says Lady Guinevere Productions. Thank you. Okay, big vocabulations, words up in the chat. I see you. Edutainment, talking about the KRS-One. And lastly, Magnificent Breeze says the best gift you can give yourself. Oh, I like that. That's holiday. That's in the holiday thing.
That's sweet.
This has been my number 1 podcast for the past year. Karen and Rod are so smart and funny. They cover so many different topics with a thoughtfulness you won't find online or many other podcasts. Okay, read them. Okay, I didn't say it. You said it, but I agree. I listen to other shows.
I do too.
Not to mention the segment music is straight flame emojis, 3 of them. I often walk up to my kid, trans, singing LGBTQ news when asking about his day. I never thought of using it for that, but it do work.
Yes, because it's such a happy ass song.
Yeah, it actually is. It actually would work. Yeah, you disarm them. Plus, it is news. They is news. Okay,
come on, every day is news for them.
It's like, you know what? I know they be rolling their eyes like, oh my God.
Yes, because you know how kids are.
Oh
Here they come again with the bullshit.
Here she go. Yeah, everything was fine. Lunch was sucked. Okay, well, let me see what you want to be.
Yes.
Do yourself a favor and subscribe. Yes, I love it. Thank you for all this love.
Thank you.
Doing this in the holiday season, and we love to hear it. We love to hear back from y'all. We appreciate it so much. All right, so that's the 5-star reviews. Y'all know what we gotta do next. We gotta get into the episodes. Okay, now that means feedback you left on our website where you can leave comments. There's feedback you can leave on Spotify from voting in the polls and leaving comments on the Q&A. There's obviously feedback you can leave on YouTube, all that stuff. And if we have time, and I remember doing it for the gram, I did remember to put something out there. So the first episode of the week was 2821, the 3 cures for loneliness. Okay, we got 9 comments 9.
Y'all had something to say. What the hell are we talking about?
Apia says, I agree with you so much. It's strange. At least on 95% of topics overall. Interesting, considered that we live on other continents, are ethnically different, have completely different jobs. We have kids and a dog and so much more. The different views are, I don't think that watching sports is fun, but I'm not against it for others, of course. And I think all people should minimize the meat intake for the environment because the production is so energy demanding, and do so even if I like to taste the meat a lot. Yeah, I hear you. I think the main thing about that meat point is you're individualizing it, and I don't believe in that. So like that, like it's more than just whether or not people should eat less meat thing. I think it's like the recycling thing. I think it's a placebo effect of like, oh, I put my plastic in this bin and that'll save the earth. It's like, no, the fuck it won't. We need
It's a collection.
corporations, we need
Yes.
governments, we need things that are bigger than the individual
Individuals.
choices of people.
Mhm.
Using a metal straw is not going to save the environment, and it's just a placebo effect that makes you feel good. So like an individual who's like, I'm a vegetarian, I mean, good for you, but no, you didn't save the world or nothing. It would take collective governmental like
Laws,
restrictions
rules,
and
yes.
oversights and stuff to do it. So I don't like, I don't like you said this before, but I don't disagree about that point. I just don't think that me choosing to eat meat or not is this huge like difference in the world. I think it's honestly such a minimal difference. It just would be an individual choice I would use to kind of make myself feel better about the plight of the world. But you know, still has good effects. You know, it's healthy for you and all that stuff too. I never thought that I was in a fight with Keith. Well, that's not how fights work. You don't get to say. Let me ask Keith. I always thought that Keith was doing this thing and it was all in good fun. I mean, it's in good fun and he's fighting. I'm listening to KTG for fun.
Both can happen.
Yeah, I
Both
listen
can
to
be true.
Yeah, I listen to KTG for fun, and that's part of it. He was never mean or something. He just disagreed with my right views. Oh, sounds like you're still throwing jabs at Keith.
Hey.
That's Keith Love's language. Never change, Keith. There's a pretty fun podcast called Who Weekly about C&D celebrities. It's smart and funny, and they do it with love. Oh, that's cool. She said, about the DNA, I agree again. If my second cousin killed someone and was found out by my DNA, I wouldn't really be sad about it. He could just not kill that person. I haven't killed anyone up till now. I'm doing just fine. It's an option. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is, dog. And I'm sure there's more compelling arguments, but I'm only specifically talking about the one argument of, well, they gonna get my DNA and find out my daddy a serial killer. I'm like, why the fuck are you so precious about that? So fuck them people that got killed by the serial killer. Fuck closure. Fuck justice because it's your family. I mean, they come out and say that. Just say that out front.
Yeah, they don't want to.
Don't try to couch it in
right?
some like, because it's just the big DNA man. No, say I don't. If my daddy killed people, but he nice to me, fuck them people. Then say that. But you don't want to say that, do you, America?
No, because it sounds terrible.
The next one is Yatunde says, I'm not agreeing with everything. I'm one of the people who had previously said something about not agreeing with everything you all say. I had put that in my 5-star review from a few weeks ago. I had a thought about why I did it and wanted to provide that context. I can't speak for anyone else who has done that. I feel like it was part of my born skeptic need to prove myself to you and other listeners that my ideas are my own and that I'm not just parroting yours and Karen's ideas. You two are highly intelligent people who provide well thought out points of view that I may not have considered. That's why I love listening. I am also someone who has listened to a lot of podcasts that discuss cult dynamics, MLMs, and other types of undue influence. So I'm constantly checking myself. That skeptics need to still check myself is what jumped out in my comment. That said, I can't ever remember an instance where I disagreed strongly. I guess it wasn't that important. Now that I know that it bothers you, I won't do it again, LOL. Well, first of all, thank you for this perspective because honestly, I had not considered it or heard it before. But it does make sense that you will want to distance yourself because, you know, we do a lot of hours of content. We talk about a lot of topics. I think, I guess my general point is, I don't think me and Karen are the type of people that need, I hope y'all aren't feeling this need.
Yeah.
That we demand this like
loyalty or something
obedience
like that.
from the audience.
We do not.
I was thinking about something today. I disagree with me about Hassan Minaj from like 3 months ago.
I disagree with myself a lot too.
I was thinking about that today. I was listening to somebody cover it again, and they were doing an interview with On the Media, and it was more of a fuller context of the same interview they had done 3 months ago. And this time they just kind of sat down and uninterruptedly talked for like 10 to 20 minutes or something. And as they were going back through the case against Hassan Minaj and why they thought it was so bad and wrong, I started thinking like, actually, you know what? I don't think I agree anymore. I think and it's not, I didn't even watch his defense video, to be honest. I only watched like a couple minutes of it. I just genuinely think that if he wants to use his comedic license to turn the situation from something that happened adjacent to me to something that happened directly from me, and he wants to be quote unquote fake sincere, look at the audience, if that's how he's going to use it, that's how he's going to use it. Nobody was really harmed by the shit. The more investigation they did into it, the more it seemed like he had taken the right precautions to make sure people weren't going to reach out to anyone involved in the stories and be like, you the motherfucker that said this about Hassan. And if you don't, and I'm not saying you have to like it, I do still think his way of personalizing is weirder than other comedians' way of doing it. I think that's totally ball game to go, yeah, well, Hassan, that was weird. And he exists in a space of, the Daily Show and his own show where he was, Mr. Sincerity, and I'm telling you the real truth and facts. And then I think in his mind, he thought, well, stand-up is different. And it is different, but I think for a specific type of comedian like him that gets by on earnesty and honesty and trust, it hits different. But whatever. Two things that did. One, it didn't turn into the witch hunt of all comedians will be fact checked, so everyone could drop that like red scare ass bullshit they were trying to throw out. We must protect Hassan because it's gonna do everyone. That didn't happen. It's been months. No one else has been challenged like that. But two, and I think it's a valid point, a lot of this stuff does feel like white folks trying to find a way to minimize racism and discrimination by saying, well, Hassan had to make up how bad it was, as if black people, brown people, minority, we're always having to make up how bad it is. And so all that to say, like, there were people that felt that way when we talked about the topic, and I was on the other side. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't say they were wrong. I thought they were just looking at it differently than me. I had friends that I talked to in depth about this that just disagree with me. And now 2-3 months later, I'm like, oh yeah, I see their point. I actually think they're right. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I hope we show the flexibility on this show, and that a lot of stuff we're just talking about, we're just giving our opinion, that we wouldn't need to know to hear. Yeah. I don't always disagree, unless it was something pertinent to where it's like, I disagree about this thing, which this is what the feedback show is for.
And also it's one of those things, the person said they listen to like, Slit with cults and all that shit. And with that, it's a little different, but we're not a cult.
Yeah.
And so, yes, when you listen to things and you have people who are on the airways and you have to agree with everything they say. And if you tell them they disagree, you disagree with them, all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. That is not how we operate. That is not how we function. We do not demand your loyalty. We understand that people disagree with us. We really, really do. We understand that everybody has different life experiences. Everybody has experienced different things. People come from all over the world, different parts of the country. Like, we completely understand that. And so I don't think we're putting out a quote unquote cult mentality that we demand this loyalty that you have to quote unquote push back on. So I understand that, because, as a person who's kind of out in the world, you want to be aware that you're not swept up and caught up in that, because there's a lot of people out here who are in the cult and don't even know it. No, it might not be a quote unquote church or religion, but guess what? You're in the quote unquote cult of getting angry on Twitter. You're in the quote unquote cult of being sad all the time online and demanding attention. Like, these are cults too, but people don't quote unquote see those as cults, but they're a form of cults, because everybody gets in there. Everybody has to agree. You can't say anything contrary to what that person quote unquote puts out into the world, or else it's problems. So we don't demand that. And like I say, we understand that all the listeners that we have, nobody's going to agree with us all the time. And most people, if you talked as much as we talked and it was recorded, there's nothing you would say all the time that somebody would agree with all the time. Shit, your husband, wife, spouse, kids disagree with you. So, I completely get it and I understand.
But yeah, but you gave me a different perspective, and I'll be thinking about that going forward. Like, it's just people trying to say like, hey, I'm an independent thinker, but this is, and we need to allow people that independence. I don't want to like try to take that away from anybody. So, I guess I was trying to explain how it hit me, which is, well, what's the disagreement? Let's talk about it. That's my point of view. I'm a conflict resolution person.
Right.
Okay. Even if we don't, let's understand each other, even if we don't come to a consensus. But now I see what you're saying. It may not even be something specific. It's just say, hey, I'm about to tell you something we agree on or disagree on or whatever the fuck. I just want to chime in, but just know I'm not a robot. I'm not a puppet. That's cool, because I don't want puppies either. So shout out to y'all, and I won't bring it up in the future. Unless it's funny. I do like making fun of people saying that. I'm sorry, it is funny to me. You know what I mean?
You gonna get these jokes?
Yeah, my feelings ain't hurt, but it is funny to say you don't always disagree. Oh, you the one. Anyway, Shoe Booty says, it would be a stretch to think my DNA would be used to frame me for a crime. If they catch my family members on some bullshit, well, that's on them. But personal data is the real currency, and detailed info about people's genetics takes targeted marketing to another screwed up level. Sorry, Big Pharma. Appia, I love you. Appia says, as if Big Pharma ever did something bad in the history of the world, ever. Has always been selfless and not greedy at all. Why did I even think about greed? I mean, my business is full of earth angels. But the most important thing is to see Shoe Booty is here. It makes me very happy. She is a pretty cool one. Yeah, shout out to the Keith and the Girl world. It's I like to think of the Black Gal Tips as this hub when we just pull people from all over the place, and only the cool ones, to be honest.
Only the cool. We don't want the non-cool ones.
Only the cool ones.
Now this right here will be where we would have to disagree.
So
this would be a prime example.
So I appreciate it. And and I think Shoe Booty brings up a great point about just like, we're not trusting. I don't want to just trust Big Pharma with my information. And I bet you there's a bunch of stuff you can find from people's DNA that is nefarious. Like I said, I'm specifically talking about that one excuse of they gonna catch somebody who's a serial killer that I'm related to. And I'm just like, that is not the big joke you think it is.
No, if you want to talk about it, go into the other information, not that one.
That's telling me Jonathan Major should date a black woman so he could beat her. It's like, that's not why do you think that's a point in your favor? That's a bad point you just made. Shoe Booty says you could do a whole episode on mixed families and DNA tests, ticking time bombs that went off. I got my own tale of shaking my family's tree status quo. Oh shit, Shoe Booty. Okay, you found out you had a touch of that African up in you. Okay,
shaking that family tree.
All right,
child. You don't never know what's gonna fall out, child. My family did that, and child, they was sitting there talking about some of them did like the 23andMe and all this shit, and they was telling them about the history. I was like, well, goddamn, I didn't know all this information.
Mm-hmm. Shannon says, hey, Rod and Karen, just in case y'all do a pre-Christmas feedback show, I wanted to share one thought. I appreciate y'all discussing the media and corporation hype fear around crime is going to lead us to a place where we regret in 20 to 30 years from now. And you're absolutely right that black people are falling for this and asking to be over-policed without realizing where it will lead us. For example, in 2021, when Eric Adams was running for mayor, I happened to be home that summer, and I asked my mom and my friends if they were voting for him or Maya Wiley, the progressive black woman who was anti-policing. All of them told me they were voting for Adams, that crime was back and he could take care of it because he was a black man and he would do right by black people. Fast forward to this summer when a lot of stuff about him being corrupt was dropping, and I asked my mom how she felt about him now, and she swears she didn't support him and no one knew he was tight with the cops.
Yes, people had that selective memory.
Yeah, and he was super tight with the cops. He was a former cop. Like, that was a big part of his, platform, and part of why people were like, oh, he'll get enough votes from white people and stuff too. That's just an anecdote, but I wouldn't be surprised if the laws get passed and everyone's collective memory forgets that they voted for it. Oh yeah, that's definitely what happened with the 90s crime bill.
Yeah.
I brought it up on Twitter, and I had some person in my mentions denying the facts, and I'm just like, I'm not here to argue with anyone. Go read Locking Up Our Own. This is not some like
Made up shit.
some shit that I'm just saying off of vibes.
Right.
In addition to remembering the time, and I don't. And for the record, this isn't blaming black folks for me, because to me, I'm like, we were always in this possible place of the lack of policing and the rampant abuse of drugs and stuff happening in our neighborhoods.
At the same time,
it will always make us want some order, because no one wants to live in chaos. I don't care what race you are.
Right.
And because a lot of the organization and wherewithal and money and stuff that it takes to like completely pave over the idea of what we call criminal justice in America and rebuild it with something more compassionate, more humane, we don't have those resources all the time. You know, if you look around the places where people really are trying to push this new level of like, you know, reformative justice and community justice and stuff, a lot of times you need almost like a baseline of either privilege or time or resources or something to even make that stuff effective, because it's very costly and time consuming. And there's a lot of black people that just like, I already worked 2 jobs. Someone stole my car. Someone beat someone. Someone shot someone. Someone's on drugs.
So we can move on. Like, I don't have time to dilly dally and go back and forth with y'all.
Right. And I don't think it comes from the same place that a lot of, you know, gentrifiers and white folks that just see a black person and go criminal. I don't think it comes from the same place, but it doesn't matter, because this system is a gaping maw. It's a volcano we're just throwing people into. It just knows how to be a volcano. It doesn't know how to do anything better. It doesn't have the wherewithal to do things better. So I feel like that's happening again. Now look, I don't know for a fact that that's where we're headed, but it feels I'm old enough to remember what it felt like when it was like, these fucking crackheads, man, we just need to get their ass in jail, get them off the street. And
it was on TV. Like, literally, for those who live around that time, that shit was on TV. That shit was everywhere. It had everybody in fear. It had everybody in panic, even in places where crime was not that high, even in places where you might not have had a drug epidemic. You still had that fear. And because of that, people put the demands on the federal government to do something.
And Central Park 5, I remember, like now everybody's like, we knew it was an injustice. At the time, there was a lot of like, these are young super predator black men. This is the emblematic of what the fuck is the problem with America, and we need to lock their ass up. And it wasn't just white people. So it's a lot of stuff going on at the same time. And yeah, it feels like we're headed back there. Shanna says, as per usual, thanks for your thoughtful approach to these discussions. Happy holidays to you and the fam, Shanna. And like I said, I don't know how you solve it, because a lot of this is feelings over facts, and a lot of this is anecdotal. If someone is in a neighborhood where there's drug addicts and all this stuff on their street, where there's crime in their neighborhood,
shit getting stolen, homes getting broken into,
it's not theoretical to them. So while many of us can be high-minded about it and not feel the fear of my door being kicked in, it's so easy for me to be like, well, how you gonna just say the police need to come in your neighborhood? Because I don't got to deal with the police not showing up. Right. You know, black people have always had to deal with both sides of this shit of, you live in a neighborhood where police don't show up and it's crime ridden, and you live in a neighborhood where the police are constantly there and it's fucking feeling like the police are the criminal. So it's never, America doesn't really give us a lot of good choices. Evie says, no one agrees about everything all the time. My biggest disagreement with the show is the constant Arby's hate, but I love y'all anyway. By the way, they have the meats. They do. I do. It's not that I hate like Arby's food. I just hate that, you know, 98% of their money goes to Republicans, and some of you coons are okay with that. But you know, what can I say? You know, if that's how y'all get down and y'all need that, that's fine.
Some of y'all Negroes are sick.
Hustle on Flow says, what movie do you think of when you say Spike Lee brought us Michael Rappaport? Bamboozled. I always blame John Singleton and Higher Learning, and then tried for giving him the pass that brought him to the cook up, and he showed up with raisins in his potato salad. Yeah, I would say Bamboozled, but you know, that's a good point. Let me go check the IMDb and see what movie he did first, because I actually don't know if he did Spike Lee's
Didn't
Bamboozle
Spike-
first.
Didn't he in School Days? Or that's another movie. Wrong one. Wrong
I'm
man.
I'm looking it up right now. I know you won't know, so let's you need to refrain from guessing. Let's be honest. He was in Zebra. Is the first movie I ever saw him in. I remember that Zebrahead. That was 1992. He was in Poetic Justice as a dock worker. I don't remember that. 93. Basketball Diaries, Kiss of Death. Yeah, I'm trying to see. When was Higher Learning was 95. When was Bamboozled? So I guess it's John Singleton's fault. Rest in peace, because it looked like Bamboozled was. Wait, hold on. Bamboozled. Yeah, Bamboozled was 2000. So you're right. My bad. John Singleton. I'm sorry, Spike Lee. You beat the Chargers today. You beat the cool Chargers on that one. So that's on my fault. So you good to go. Okay.
You good.
All right, let's go to the polls. Oh, the YouTube. Let's go to the YouTube for this. 3 cures for loneliness. Let's see. One comment. J Full says that self-checkout story reminded me of when so it was a story someone wrote in about a person that worked at self-checkout that they tried to blame this woman for someone else stealing from one of the registers and make her and write her up, and she refused. The self-checkout story reminded me of when I got fired from Blockbuster when I was 16 because I refused to write a letter taking responsibility for our store's racist borrowing policies. We had this rule that people could only rent 3 new release movies at a time until they rented 15 movies from our store. I was a kid, and this was before the internet was a big thing, so I thought that's a standard procedure. I had this black woman customer one Friday who called BS on our policy, and she said she was going to call corporate, and she did. Well, the manager threw me under the bus and said I made up the policy all on my own, and they didn't know where they got it from.
What?
I fucking hate managers because of that. They have no backbone.
No, that's why I want shit in writing. When I be like, is this the new rule? Is this what it is? And make them put that shit in writing.
At 16, to be
You don't
fair,
know.
you don't know.
No
one knows.
Mm-mm.
They made me handwrite an apology to the customer, which I did. Then they wanted me to write a letter to the regional manager taking full responsibility. I snitched like I was looking at 50 years in federal supermax. I told her all about the policies we had at the hood Blockbuster. It told them that it was even part of our new employee orientation. Then I snail mailed it on my own. The store manager got fired and her assistant managers never put me on the schedule again. But now I'm 38 looking back. I'm pretty sure regional manager was in on the racist policies, but nobody had ever complained to the corporate before.
Right.
Yeah. Shout out to you though, J Full. That's dope at 16. I wouldn't have really known what to do. I probably would just stop coming into work.
Just stop showing up.
Yeah. The poll was, do you agree on everything we say? Yes or no? Now I'm shocked at the results. 11% of y'all on our website agree with everything we say. 89% do not.
I don't believe the 11%.
And it's even better on Spotify. 18% of y'all agree. 82 do not. And I believe y'all. I'm not gonna tell y'all. Hey, look. Maybe somehow y'all get us.
Oh, you know what? We just haven't hit whatever that topic is. You just
Yeah.
don't agree with
Give
yet.
it time.
So that's why I was like, I don't believe you.
Give it time.
Trust, we're gonna hit a topic.
The Q&A was TBGWT, Arby's, and we'll always have Bullet Ball. The 3 cures for loneliness. Lisa says, we saw Renaissance at noon in a relatively small town Cinemark theater and paid $23 a piece. None of the other shows cost that much. The receipt shocked the hell out of me. Okay, so that solves the mystery. Because we looked it up ourselves. So it's Beyonce was charging a lot for Renaissance tickets, or Beyonce's company, whoever.
Yes.
And so that's why those tickets were $28, $23, whatever dollars.
Yes.
And me and Karen were going to movies. And like I said, we go to a matinee and it's like $11 each.
Right.
And so that makes a lot more sense. So when J Full wrote in to say like how much the tickets were and inflation and parking and shit, which that, parking sounds like a LA thing for sure.
Yes.
But the ticket price is a Beyonce thing. That makes a lot more sense. It's more like TBGWT, everything pumpkin spice, and we'll always have Karen saying, who? Says James.
Yes, you will.
Jeff says, I've got Bullet Ball. Raphael says, now I love that brother who made a cure for loneliness. He's a good guy and the Black Eyed Tips fan. However, trying to sneak Arby's on me, no, I refuse it, not today. Yes, in Stephen A. Smith's voice. The gal 704 says, hey, Rod and Karen, I think $28 was probably a special price for Renaissance. It was the amount for IMAX and Dolby. $22 just for regular. I didn't pay for parking. It was free. Yeah, I think we solved it.
Okay.
Keisha says, people who want to say they love the show probably start by saying, I don't always agree because they don't want to be seen as a sycophant or a psycho stan. Yeah, I think y'all got to the bottom of that. And like I said, I get it. I'll still make my jokes, but I get it. Yeah, that's totally valid. And I don't want people to feel like people need to feel their independence. I don't want people feeling like they can't say, yeah, I get it. Tiffany says, had my mom known about Bullet Ball, I guarantee she would have tried to give it to me for Christmas.
Oh, no.
Tiffany says her mom always gives bad gifts. Gwen says, long live Bullet Ball. Here you go, Gwen. Let's go to the next episode. But before that, let me play a little music so we can, add some commercials in here. All right, the next episode. Hold up. Wait. The next episode is actually called 2822, Our Gaming Year in Review, and we got 9 comments on this too somehow.
Chad, y'all had something to say all week. I enjoyed doing that gaming in review. That was my idea.
It was Karen's idea, and I think it's one of those things where, in my mind, I'm like, I want to talk about this. I don't mind talking, but we're about to spend 30 minutes to an hour talking about video games that a lot of people might not even play or care about. So it's kind of more of an episode for us and a very specific type of listener. Mm-hmm. And look, 9 comments later, I'll say it worked. Mm-hmm. So let's see. Great Uncle Bob says, regarding Weight Watchers making Ozempic plans, other major brands are pivoting to making protein shakes, smaller portions, etc., due to increased Ozempic type weight loss frogs being, I guess,
to make that money.
Yeah, being more popular and commonplace. And Dr. Uzo says, Weight Watchers is following a trend where med spas are charging patients for similar services. A person shows up, gets a shot once a week, presumably semaglutide, Ozempic or Wegovy, or tirzepatide, which is Mounjaro or Zepbound, and meets with a doctor and or dietitian who reviews weight loss plans. These services can range from hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on the clinic. Oh my goodness. And the demand for medication. From my perspective, this feels like a way to extract money from people who want weight loss but may not otherwise be able to get these drugs reliably or consistently.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's never from the good of their heart. You know,
they're quote unquote providing a service, but you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, and I think if you can get it through like a doctor or your insurance, I'm sure it's less. But no one can stop you from getting it, I guess. From one of these clinics.
Yeah, you probably have to jump through hoops, and like the requirements are a little bit different.
I don't know. Abdul says, new machines all want lots of our attention. Beep, beep, look at me, talk to me. Says the washing machine, the oven, the milk foam maker. I thought in a world full of machines, it would be less unnecessary communication, but no. The worst was my new Volkswagen touring car. Don't get confused by the name. It's a minivan because the kids and the dog. It's a talker. When I got it, it said when I opened the window, ecological suggestion, close the window to save fuel. What do you even have windows for that I can open, Turan? When you get to be pissed at when I open them. I went to the best weapon we still have for now, the setup menu, and told it to keep those suggestions to themselves. Some suggestions I couldn't stop. It still says drive in the middle of the road. From time to time for no reason. But okay, no one is perfect. I know some American machines want money and tips now for doing their regular jobs. What do you need it for? You live in one place machine. It's not so much you could spend it on. Okay, it's probably for only machines to see some sexy ball bearing. Yeah, she's ridiculous.
That's good.
Shoe Booty replied to Appia, these machines are all doing too much now. My LG washer didn't have to make a whole tune for the wash for when the wash is finished. It slaps, but
it slaps.
Come on.
You dancing all the way to the washer. At least give you something to dance for.
It slaps, but come on, they didn't need to go that hard. Yeah, I don't mind the like I said, jazz it up.
The jingles, yes.
I don't mind the machine where you put your card in with the square and it does the doo 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 as opposed to the or whatever. I don't like any of those.
Bitch, get out of here. That's what I hear, but that's not what you're saying.
I actually turned the noise off of my dryer because the dryer, even on the lowest setting, is like this loud ass
It is. It's real loud. Like,
and that's the lowest setting.
And
like who is the louder setting for?
For
like,
people that might not
people in another apartment that need to know I'm done with my motherfucking dryer.
People maybe with hearing problems.
I don't know. But that's the thing. The lowest setting is loud enough, I think, for someone with hearing problems to hear. It's very loud at the lowest setting.
What if it's high? What you trying to learn?
I don't know. I'm gonna turn it up to high now just to see what it sounds like. Ramsey D. Jr. says, 5-star show. I have a quick comment on Shannon Sharp asking the question to Kirk Franklin. I applaud Brother Kirk Franklin's comments and suggestions about dating and paying for items. Shannon Sharp stays shucking and jiving for himself and others like him, including women and men who still think things are 50-50 in relationships. Yeah, I mean, look, if you find a person to be 50-50 with, then fine. I don't have a problem with any relationship, structure, or organization as long as it's not like abusive or between people that aren't consenting adults.
Correct.
I swear to God, I wish more people could find a way to be like me, in this world, because it honestly, we got two problems. We're creating so much content that people are sharing stuff that to me is not that controversial until you share it with people that don't fucking know you like that.
Right.
Like if you were sitting across the table from somebody, like Simone Biles and her husband. You're sitting across the table from Simone Biles' husband, and he's telling you that story about I was the catch, and she drove to meet me and shit. And she's like looking at him adoringly, like smiling hard as fuck because she liked that shit. Mm-hmm. Okay. That y'all that couple and y'all think that's cute. We all know those people.
Yeah, but that's a private
and some of those people, they got kids, they happily married, they fucking stay together forever, whatever the fuck.
Right.
There's other people that got all the right, they check all the boxes off on all the like proper social media stances and the way their relationships look, and they be miserable, or they don't stay together, or they, like this shit is a crapshoot. And a lot of this stuff that makes people happy isn't really about it's not going to match the politics and the social equality and justice that everyone has in their life. Because sometimes people like shit that is otherwise, quote unquote, considered toxic in this society.
Correct.
Some people like that shit. Some people like them a man's man and a gruff motherfucker. Mm-hmm. Some dudes want them that pretty woman that they gotta just take care of and shit. Motherfuckers like that shit. I don't know what to tell y'all, So the thing for me is that with people creating this content, it puts it out there to be judged. And I'm gonna do Shannon Sharp the favor of not saying he's stupid. So I think I'm giving him the favor of going, hey, he's a smart dude. He wants to get into the influencer relationship,
you can see the transition
type of space. Yeah. I think all these people have been envious of these influencers over the last few years as they've lost a lot of freedom in sports, as we've watched ESPN and Fox and stuff really strip the personality out of sports people.
Yes, they have.
And a lot of these people that came into the game from in unconventional ways through like John Skipper, what's his name? Like looking at these different type of personalities and being like, let's get a person who's not necessarily traditionally considered a sports person. Let's get them on our airwaves, Bill Simmons.
To draw people that otherwise wouldn't be here.
People that are social commentators and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so as they lose their gigs, as ESPN gets tighter and tighter on them, as social media gets bigger and people are able to make money off of just having their own brand and influencers and stuff,
which they did not
I
have
think
before.
there's a bit of rebellion that is happening. And especially with these contracts coming up and people knowing they might not get renewed or the money might not be the same, and
Right.
seeing the freedom that like a Dan Levertard has.
Mhm.
This is not necessarily a judgment call. I'm telling you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people do stuff like Shannon Sharp go, I want to get into a different lane. Like this show is not about sports. It's just me and my homies talking.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, but it's also a product. I didn't tap your phone. It's still content. And so
Yes.
what the clips that go viral, the topics you choose to talk about are content. Same thing with us making this podcast. It's content. So you chose to talk about women farting in bed. Okay, now your other brand is going on TV in a suit and talking sports. It might not feel like the most congruent fit, and some people are gonna be like, I don't care, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But I'm just saying, you playing a little bit with fire, and part of your suit job is related to just your overall brand. And so it's easy. I'm just calling it early because it's easy to do the like, he's just talking about dating and shit. It's no problem. But there are also people within that space that Shannon Sharp is trying to occupy, that Stephen A. Smith is trying to occupy now. There's also people that like Kevin Samuels that I did find problems with.
Yes.
And that some of y'all didn't, but I thought it was really bad, reprehensible shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I worry about the development or what the line is gonna be if they're ever, because it really doesn't take much for people to go, man, it's a lot of money and attention and clicks from just saying basic mean shit.
Yes, for them to make that change and say, fuck it.
And I hope that, Shannon has the integrity to not be like that. But I don't know. I got one eyebrow raised at some of the opinions that he has, because I'm like, damn, that's not only a bad opinion, but I find it kind of stupid to say. Like, you already getting the check. What is this? What is the point of you telling the world all this shit about that's low key kind of incel sounding? Like I said, we'll see where it goes, but it makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. And this isn't about Ramsey D. Jenkins. This is just a general thoughts on the topic.
Yeah, and also just the public. One day they love you, tomorrow they hate you. You don't know what the line is to cause everybody to turn.
Yeah, there's a big difference between saying like Michael Jordan's not the GOAT, LeBron is. And people will be mad, but they'll deal with that. They feel like that's germane to sports.
Right.
Between saying something like, some of the stuff that we've just heard people say about women and dating and stuff. And yeah, I just feel like he's likes playing around with the third wire of the third rail. And I hope he doesn't get burned.
Same.
Cause I don't dislike Shannon. I don't dislike Stephen A, to be honest.
No.
So, and I once again, as dudes that talk a lot, they say stuff sometimes that you're gonna disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
But I still find them entertaining, and I just hope that they don't cross some line that one day I'm just like, fuck, I can't even listen to this guy no more. Dr. Uzo82 says, Rod and Karen giving us Nerd Off preview on the main feed. I love it. I don't know who else needs to hear it, but the premium shows are, and you freeloaders. Shout out to Three Guys On. Oh, Flames. You freeloaders. Shout out to Three Guys On. Should be grateful for the freebie on this one. Thank you. AJ says, I used to have a PlayStation 2 before it got stolen, and my favorite game to play was Tekken. I also played many PC games, and one I played the most was Battle for Middle Earth. I played that game like it was a part-time job that I was not being compensated for.
Yeah, I feel you.
I've been a long time listener to your podcast. I always look forward to what you have to say because it's funny and informative, Austin. Thank you, Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, EVE says, I have been waiting to get the PS5 because not enough games I was interested in was being made for that system to make it worth it. But now that GTA 6 is coming out soon, I'm going to have to go ahead and get it. They got me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the power of that Grand Theft Auto, man. Damn.
That Grand Theft Auto gonna bring a lot of people back. They're gonna be blowing them systems off and they're gonna crank them up.
Well, no, they're not gonna be blowing them systems off.
Oh.
Because you gotta have next gen system.
Okay, my bad.
If they ain't been playing, they're gonna have to buy a PS5.
Okay, my bad. And guess what? And you better hope the scammers don't get on top of it and buy them shits out like they did before, where you can't get your hands on one if you ain't already got one.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. No comments on the YouTube, but the poll was for gamers only. What's your console of choice? The highest one was 30%
PlayStation.
Switch.
Okay.
So Switch was first. PlayStation was second with 24.24%. Then there were 3 tied for third, which was Xbox, PC, and phone with 15%. Other got 0%. And then if you go look at the poll on Spotify, it helps if I click on the right episode. Let's see, it was Gaming Year Review. That's right. The poll. So number 1 on here is PlayStation, 40%.
That makes more sense
because they got money.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 2 was the Switch with 18%. Xbox was 14.8%. PC 10%, phone 10%, other 8.2%. I don't think I missed any. Oh yeah, phone was 10%. Yeah, so
yeah, and a lot of it has to do with how you game. It would depend on, like I said, we have all of the systems, so I know my perspective is a little different. But when we're talking like games in general, and gamers in general, it's normally PlayStation over everything, and Xbox, and then Switch. But the thing is, Switch and PlayStation outsells Xbox, as far as like console sold and all that type of stuff. So I can see those numbers around. But for me personally, it's Xbox One, Switch 2, and PlayStation 3. But that's because it's the way I game. I game I game differently. So for me, that's my particular order.
No sex in the Heart Senate office building hearing room, please. Thank you. Was our Q&A.
Yes.
Aaron says, when's the Pornhub review coming with CUMM coming? And you got what you wish, Aaron. Claire Lane says, in the poll I chose other. I recently got a Steam Deck, which has the portability of a Switch, but games from PlayStation, Xbox. I love it. Yeah, I wanted to leave other because I knew there would be people that had other shit. Neil says, yes, yell it for the perverts in the back. Yeah, to stop fucking in the Senate office. And you know what? Somebody else got caught fucking in there too. And it was another like gay video or something like that. But this time it was like a Republican staffer, which I honestly, dog, I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. No one gets to fuck in the goddamn Senate hall.
We're trying to do business in here. Pass the fucking laws. What the fuck are we doing?
This is not a crazy thing to say. And Jezebel, I'm sorry, you can't like woke explain this shit with this isn't the worst thing to happen. People lost the right to this right in this Senate hall. Like, nigga, shut the fuck up. You know what we talking about. You can't trick me.
Right. There's some places you aren't allowed to fuck for a reason.
I don't think it's okay to overturn Roe v. Wade, and also you should be able to fuck in there. I think both are wrong. Don't do it.
Right.
Stop. Oh my God. Raphael says it's on line 1 on the form. Do you sex a lot, very well, or too much? If you want to work in Capitol Hill, if you answer orgies, guaranteed interview. So I was told by a guy with experience. All right, let's go to the next one. Episode 28. Oh, damn. I numbered it the same number, even though it's the number after that. So
shit.
I guess we're off by 1 number for the rest of the episodes.
I guess you need to re-edit that one.
Yeah, now I need to edit it on Spotify. And God damn it.
That's more work. I'm sorry, because you do want it to be right.
No, I mean, of course, I'm going to edit it. It's live during the show that I'm discovering this.
No problem.
The problem. Man, that means if I did it here, I would have had to do it everywhere.
Guess what? That's fine. Guess what? The feedback show is a spot check.
Yeah. Thank God we do feedback shows.
Right?
Yeah.
We'd have had some random person going, Rod, it's 2 episodes with the same number.
Nobody caught it with me. All right. Episode 2823. Jonathan Major's Guilty and Porn Recap. We got 9 comments again.
999.
Right?
Y'all out here like the Godfather pizza dude.
Right. Rest in peace, Herman Cain.
Yes.
Brooklyn Shoebay says, I'm so excited when I saw the episode title because the title was, Jonathan Majors and Porn Recap. I gave a little clap because I'm always fascinated by the year-end porn wrap-up. You may not agree with me, but this is the best year-end wrap-ups. Dizzy Lizzy Gal says, now see, Rod read my mind because as soon as Karen said the exercise were helping her, I opened my notes app and wrote down homie's name. Work says definitely had to chime in on that porn wrap up. It was hilarious. I have 2 questions. What is the cutoff for these wrap ups, like Pornhub and Spotify? And secondly, what is the difference between ebony and black in the category section? Yeah, there were like 3 different things that meant black to me, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
Like ebony, black, BBC, and some other. It's like
they all actually mean black, but the way people divide porn up is very differently, because in most porns, if you do black, you liable to get just about anything. But if you do ebony, you specifically get black people.
Well, my guess is black is that way because some porn stars have the last name Black.
Yes.
So you want to be like, if you would not like the results of just like, you don't want those in your results, you actually want just the race of black. So then you go, well, we got to have another term. You don't want to say colored. In addition to not just meaning black, it also is a very antiquated term. And then I think you end up at ebony somehow, which it's wild. Appia said, Fireworks says, definitely had to chime in on that porn wrap up. It was hilarious. I have 2 questions. It did that one. Appia says, thank you for providing more educational content and competent commentary. I feel prepared for possible conversations on this topic about porn. I mean, yeah, of course.
We didn't educate
what else would you be talking about? Appia says, George Santos is obviously a bad apple, but what he said in the interview was 100% true, and he let Z-Way look bad. I'm glad that you don't give a platform to terrible people. That's one of the reasons I really like you. Well, that took learning.
Yes, it did.
To be honest, man. There were times back in the day we had guests on because we were so like, hippie and loosey-goosey and just fucking like
go with the flow.
Oh, this person likes us. Let them be on the show. And, we did a few back in the day have guests and stuff that I look back now and I wouldn't have had them on. Like if they asked me today, I'd be like, no, your brand and what you do.
It don't.
It's too different from what we do. And I don't want it to look like we co-sign what you do.
Correct. Yep. Do your thing. Our brands don't mesh.
But, that also was a time before I think we were so polarized social media wise and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I would even say those people might look at us now and be like, why would I want to fuck with them? Look at their beliefs and value systems.
Yes.
The only reason people may like that might want to fuck with us is just like, look at how big their platform is compared to mine or something, but not because we be on the same page.
Right.
C-Baby says, if someone hasn't done it yet, I think someone should make an image of, I'm sorry. And that's not to say every guest we have now is somebody that we're always aligned with or whatever. I do value differences of opinion. I do value comedy. I do value that we're not always going to end in the same place. I think a good heart is better than just saying the right shit all the time.
Agreed.
But even with that allowance, there's still people from back in the day I'm like, we shouldn't have had them on or we wouldn't have them on now.
Right. And a lot of this us growing and us maturing and us understanding the importance of our platform. Like it's a process. And then you get to the point where you go, oh, I'm a brand. Oh, I need to protect my platform. Oh, I can't let my brand mix with your brand. Or, oh, you're too toxic for the things we try. And on top of that, everybody's brand aren't always meant to cross over. I don't know why everybody think that all audiences cross over. They don't. Sometimes they do. Most of the time they don't.
C-Baby says, if someone hasn't done it yet, I think someone should make an image of all those guys together as Kang, Rod, Chris included with caption, oh, I can't wait to be Kang. Sean says, I would have gone with it's good to be Kang, but I grew up on Mel Brooks. Well, someone did make the graphic. Child to Great Uncle Bob, who made the and I put it on our Instagram, the Photoshop of me, Roy Wood Jr. and Chris Lambert as Kangs.
That's hilarious.
EVE says, I could care less if Kang gets recast or not. I didn't think he was that interesting or scary enough as a villain, especially after Thanos, who bodied the Hulk. Kang got outsmarted by Loki and Janet. You mean to tell me he's the big bad of the next Marvel phase? No thanks. I would love for Marvel to focus on getting the X-Men and Fantastic Four right. I can understand why hentai is so popular. Anime already has those women with exaggerated bodies, and a lot of people love anime characters. Plus, hentai has storylines without bad acting. Yes, I watch it. Don't judge me. We're not judging.
We're not judging.
You wrote in.
Right, because y'all know hentai is my jam. I love cartoons.
Yeah, I think also there's a safety in it. and knowing that this isn't really happening to anyone.
Agreed.
Even on a pseudo level, you know, like, because there's live action hentai stuff too. And I don't know how much views that gets, but I know with animation, there's like a cognitive dissonance of like, hey, this is just all fantasy and not real, and it's okay.
Yes, sir.
And I think a lot of times people go to pornography to see like taboo and toxic fantasies and stuff that played out that aren't, and toxic by that, if it was real, it would be toxic. Like,
yes,
I do not believe 2 years ago when incest was the #1 category, I do not believe everybody is like, I want to go have sex with my motherfucking relative.
Right.
But I think the idea of some porn actors pretending that's a scenario was enticing to them.
Agreed.
And that's, you know, and I think that's something people don't acknowledge about porn, because we're so puritanical and we're so like, this is we don't want to, and meanwhile you're watching it, meanwhile you're consuming it, but you don't want to go to full place of like, but yeah, that's kind of, you know, like, I recognize that that's not real.
Yes, and there are people that watch porn, watch certain categories, enjoy certain things that they would not want those actions happening to them. It's just something that they just enjoy to watch. And like you said, it's a separation. And, you know, it's one of those things where people go, well, if you watch it, you must want that to happen to you. And that's not true.
Then let's see if we had any comments on YouTube for this episode. No comments. So let's go to the polls for this episode, which is, do you watch porn? Yes or no? 83% of our audience, yes. 17% no. Same exact percentage basically on Spotify, which is very interesting that those are the same. So yeah, the vast majority of people do, you know. I just wish people could be a little less uptight about it,
right?
Know? But it is what it is. We, you know, this is a country founded on religion, so it's never gonna be too, you know, too understanding. We all gotta play the role of like, oh my god, and then be like, yeah, but really though, that I like that video. What's her name?
Yeah, they love that. What's her name? Who is she?
And then the Q&A was 21 Savage, and Tamara says, I voted no on the poll because I read romance novels. Same shit, I've read them too. This porn. Roger says, come on, who knew theme? Who the hell is Z-Way? Reminds me of when my aunt said, who the hell is Kelly Rowland at the cookout?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. James says, so DC porn viewers really do like Black Patrol, huh? Yeah, because their category was, what was it, like thick police officers or something? Thick police woman?
A thick booty, big booty police woman, something like that. Yes.
I was like,
they might as well say thickums cops.
And like I said, Black Patrol is about white women, well, not white, but non-black women that harass black men under arrest and make them have sex with them. And I assume that had to stop, because it did stop. I assume it had to stop once like Black Lives Matter came to prominence.
Yeah, it was like, we can't.
It was like,
this,
we got to get the fuck out of here while the getting's good. But yeah, there's people, I still know people mad about that series years later. Tia John, which once again I go back to understand that a lot of times people want to watch the taboo shit. It ain't.
Yes.
I don't think they really co-sign that.
Agreed.
Tia says, in it. Aaron says Elastigirl is Mrs. Incredible's hero name before she married Mr. Incredible. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Alumni says, did they forget my girl Sarah J and Queen Rogue? I love fat asses. Well, you might love fat asses, but I guess the general masses of Pornhub still have a affinity for a certain type of white woman. And then also I think it's just racism. It's just fucking racism.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like I know all the thick porn stars, you know, and it's, yeah, they don't never make the list. They don't never be near the top unless it's like they'll give like one thick white woman on the list every year.
Yeah, and she is like 10 to 15 pounds, a little heavier than the rest of them. It ain't like, you know, really thick.
Yeah, my point is just they'll put one thick white woman. Like they don't really be trying to do that. I'm surprised they don't ever make a list of that stuff. That would be nice. If Pornhub could add like a list of like the top black stars, the top,
Yeah,
BBW, the top. I think that would be interesting.
The top Asian stars. Yes, break them out like that, because then you would get a different perspective.
Yeah, I think it would just be interesting to talk about. Raphael says Pornhub recap was fun to read. I read it all and wanted to shout out Egypt for not hiding behind VPN. I know that's why Nigeria wasn't high on the list, but I'm an undercover reporter, so I like Kane. And Lisa says regarding Car Masters, I'm dying laughing. Constance, the woman with big boobs, is gorgeous and she's amazing with engines. I know nothing about cars. The show is actually great and I stare at her boobs too. Lisa, we all staring at boobs over here. Okay, I wish people.
That's how they got you. You talk about cars. Next thing you know, you got Netflix queue about boobs and cars.
I wish people would be a little more honest about that. Okay, and it's not just men. Everyone's staring at big boobs. Okay, we all know that famous picture of Marilyn Monroe. I forget who she was sitting next to, but that woman was looking like, damn, look at them titties. They are sitting. It's like, yeah, your girl know the titties is sitting before you do.
Yes,
it is what it is. Episode 23-24 is an all Dracarys episode. We had 6 comments. Abia says printers are my least favorite machines. I don't trust them. My printer sometimes works with the app, sometimes with the other. Sometimes it's a he for sure, just refuses to communicate with anything. Sometimes he just does the local network, not Wi-Fi. It's a pretty new HP model, a pretty new HP problem. I know all his tricks now, and so I will find a way, but he is like all his brothers before, a bitch. I agree. I agree. Everything you saying is facts.
Connect, disconnect, don't recognize nothing, recognize something. Okay, I print, and then you try to print it again. It's like, oh, I don't recognize this. You're like, the fuck is this? And then you send the signal out. You go over there to the printer. The printer's like, I don't see nothing. You're like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, this is a read. This is up there with You're a Mean One, Mr. Print.
Yes, Mr. Print.
To spite him, I almost want paperless. We can do taxes without paper here. Take this, you printer bitch. I dream about a time when he has to move out for all his bad behavior, like a bad ex-boyfriend who got broken up with. She also says, it's part of my job to plan events and deal with expenses on the company credit card from my account and get it back from the company in the amount up to several thousands of euros. I'm luckily extremely organized and do all the stuff in the right way, but of the job is also the possibility of an audit several years after the event. It happens once with me and I came out 100% clear, but it was not fun. The good thing about it, you just deal with it and it becomes normal. You know all the questions and what to do with them.
Yeah, you have to keep shit in order. You have to keep files on order. You have to hold on to receipts. Like, it is not a joke.
Shoe Booty says, printer talk made me want to have road rage as I was driving and just cars all over the route 287. That shit never works, never. Doesn't matter if it's personal or professional, whether you got an hour or all day, you want to print, you're going to have a hard time. It ain't you, it ain't me, it's printers. They never want to do their fucking job, right? And like, it's always been like that, all the way back to the dot matrix printer. It's like you try to hit print and you're like, what's wrong? Like, what's your problem?
What's wrong? I need black and white, but you need magenta. Bitch, I need black and black is full. You need future. What the fuck future got to do with black? I don't know, but you need purple. And you're like, this don't make sense.
I forget who did send it to us, but someone sent a funny like Instagram clip of somebody that was pretending to be like a printer or something, like as a joke, and it was so funny. It was like, yes, this is exactly what the fuck we be talking about on the show. So but yeah, back to this. EVE says I'm sorry, no, Ramsey D. Jenkins says, I love a good old Dracarys episode. 5 stars. I used Smile Direct Club and my bottom teeth were not straightened. I know. I was looking for a quick fix. I finished paying for them in May 2023. Then they had a nerve to send me information about filing for bankruptcy. EV says, I was seeing on social media a lot of people who use Smile Direct said that they fucked up their teeth and they eventually had to go to an orthodontist anyway. They seem like a scam, and I would be damned if I had to pay despite them not rendering services. they would have to take me to court because I'm not paying shit.
That's my whole thing. That's my whole thing. That you're gonna have to do what you got to do. I'll let it sit. You're not getting another goddamn dime from me. You filed for bankruptcy. And when I remember when that stuff first came out, as somebody who has had braces and shit like that, I was like, oh, you got to go to a doctor. They can't do this by Zoom and send you some shit. They need to look at your mouth, be sure your shit is doing right, be sure your progression is correct. Like, the fuck is this?
She goes on to say the Christian Keys thing could be legit, but people are speculating like they know who it is, even though he hasn't said who. He has the right to speak out against his assaulter, but I always wonder what's the point of going public without naming names unless you want content for yourself, because many names get tossed around who may not be involved. And if you see someone's name constantly coming up and it isn't them, why not say it wasn't them? That seems kind of shady, but it will be interesting how this plays out, or if anyone will ever even be talking about this in a week or so when the Epstein list is released, unsealed. People have short attention spans. Yeah, like I said, man, I don't know what to make of his shit because it just doesn't make sense to me the way he's doing it. And I don't know why you would do something that way. And, I think the other part is no matter how liberal people are, people love speculating about who might be gay.
Yes, they do.
I think low key is homophobic. I don't, I think people engage in it all the time.
Yeah, even people
I think
that's quote unquote allies on the I support them. You be like, you see that comment, you be like, nah, I don't know now. Like, this right here is actually contradictory to everything you quote unquote say you stand for.
Yeah, and I feel like people like getting that shut off because a lot of what liberal stuff is online is like withholding yourself from engaging in the immature shit that can be harmful in other hands or whatever. And then here's your one get out of jail free card of like, ooh, I get to make jokes about is he getting fucked in his ass, because that's hilarious. And so now you got a whole like power bottom and all this shit. And I try my best to just not participate in those kind of jokes because just to me is, in addition to being like kind of hacked,
Right.
it's not really funny to me in that way. But I get that it's funny to other people, and if enough people are doing it on both sides of that conversation, who am I to tell people they can't make those jokes? So I just let people do it. But yeah, I see it all the time. It's ha ha ha, Will Smith might be gay. Ha ha ha, TD Jakes might be gay. Ha ha. Even in cases Dwight Howard might be gay. Even in cases of extreme allegations like abuse, rape, sexual harassment, people are like, ha ha ha, the real joke here is that someone might be gay. Trey says, hey, Rod and Karen, thank you for speaking out about Navy Federal Credit Union story. As someone who works at a financial institution, I'm shocked every time these stories about these banks doing some crooked, illegal, or in this case, just blatantly racist shit to customers happens. Do these banks not have internal audit and or compliance departments? And also, do they not have compliance training either? We have yearly compliance e-courses we have to take at my job, which include two about Home Mortgage Disclosure Act and Fair Housing Act, which both most certainly talk about how discriminating based on race is illegal as fuck. Yeah, man, I think
they probably do, but if it's the culture and they just don't give a fuck, this is the end results. And and not trying funny, when they do their audit, who knows what numbers they give the federal government? They they don't always quote unquote tell the truth until somebody.
Well, these numbers were discovered by the federal government.
Okay.
But my point is just racism has its own logic.
Yes.
That supersedes every fucking thing else. It's how, movies that with diverse cast and pitch to diverse audiences worldwide seem to be the ones that, were making a lot of money for a while. And yet, when the Sony leak happened, it was, can we even sell a Denzel film overseas?
Right.
Racism just doesn't give a fuck about logic, This story mixed with that Wells Fargo story of them signing people up for accounts they didn't authorize them to make makes my blood boil, because somebody should be going to jail for this shit, not only a fine, but go to motherfucking jail.
Right.
All I know is a class action lawsuit is going to be lit, LOL. Yeah, that's one reason I say restorative justice is definitely possible in America, because we already have it for certain segments of society. Right? The motherfuckers that do racist shit at the jail, at the bank, they got it. They got restored. Here's some money, say contrition. You don't worry about jail. Are you fine? Just don't do it again. They got it. But you still a motherfucking catalytic converter. Your ass is getting 15 to 20. You know,
Yes,
it's different.
You are.
Thanks for all the caring, for all the joy you brought me by doing podcasts, and I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas. Also, congrats on 500 episodes of Balls Deep Sports. Thanks, Trey. Let's see. Any comments on YouTube for this one? One comment, but it's not showing from who or what. So maybe it was spam and got deleted. Happens sometimes. Oh wait, no, here it is. Ebony says the fact that I'm just now today hearing about Smile Direct Club is wow. Although I haven't ordered retainers in a while, I'm surprised that I didn't receive any customer notifications that I needed to seek alternatives. Shaking my head. Also, you are in Smile Direct and they didn't fucking tell you.
Wow.
God damn.
Breaking news on the podcast.
Right?
You're gonna get a lot of soon though.
I hate that they're going out of business though, because the product worked really well for me. And they had the best lip balm, random. I know, but when you wear those aligners, you can become a mouth breather, thus parched lips. That's dope. I'm glad it was working for you, and I'm sorry that they did you like. They just left you high and dry.
Yes, they did. You listen to your favorite podcast going, what? Wait a minute, this directly impact me. Why ain't I got one in the mail?
Right.
No email, no nothing.
Right. All right. Well, let's go to the poll, which is, should the TSA allow passengers to do self-service?
In this situation that they're talking about, yes. I'm gonna tell you why. They got your address, your telephone number. You already got fingerprints. They know everything about you. Now, you're not trying to find a general pop. No.
Well, 41% of people agree with you. 59% do not. And on Spotify, 22% of people agree. 77% do not. Which I think you break those percentages down. That's probably who else I TSA pre-check. Q&A. Don't pay Smile Direct Club. Smile Direct Club. The AI dentist, says Chris Chacon. Yes.
The AI dentist.
Yes. That's it.
You know what? That's right. The AI dentist. They're out here trying to do shit. And hey, guess what, y'all? We know AI don't work. You know what? A human being got to fix the errors of AI.
And he put AI in quotes. It's perfect. Ms. Barnes says orthodontia is already a grip as is. I cannot imagine the emergency calls to the dentist's office. Shaking my damn head.
Right.
I wonder if dentists are like, yes, because they phones got to be blown up. Nehemiah says no, but I bought a car in June with stereotypical credit. The APR is 24%. I'm dropping $750 a month. My last car was 2020 was 14%, $408 a month. Oh. Yeah, I just got to keep getting my engine fixed, dog.
Ain't that the truth?
I'm scared as hell.
Child, we just gonna have to place that timer belt and keep it trucking.
I think the first apartment I ever had was less than that.
It was.
I think it was less than that.
It was, baby.
That just tells you how old we are, but still. All right, last episode to discuss in this way is 2824 up, down, and to the side. Phil says every abuser should face consequences. This stuff with Ezra Miller was disgusting, for example. That person seems to be a manipulative criminal that's bad for, even if it's the best actor ever. If Majors was convicted on some old incident instead of that one on trial, he could legally fight it, but I see it's messy. But we really don't know what evidence the jury has seen. Some things change for the better. Weinstein will likely die in prison for his crimes, and he was a very powerful white man. Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, I don't ever want to make the argument of what white men get is what black men should get. I think that's stupid. And I think it's reductive. And I think it says more about entitlement than it says about anything else. That being said, I don't think there's any harm in acknowledging the clear double standard once you throw race into these discussions, where the vast majority of white actors that have done shit like this not only continue to work, which Jonathan Majors may continue to work. People are acting like his career is over. And they said the same thing about the dude from Nat
Turner.
Yeah. And he works, he just will never be the star that he was on path to being.
Correct.
And to a certain extent, I think Mel Gibson, who continues to work, is not the star Mel Gibson was in the past. He's a guy playing bad guy roles on TV shows and streaming shows now.
But he still get money.
Right. But I think what happens is when people say canceled, there's two meanings and they don't want to elaborate on which one. It just depends on what side of the aisle they're on. But what they normally act like the person's getting a death penalty, which is almost never the case.
Right.
Because they're going to work. Then the other definition is more of a, we don't like this person and we're always going to bring this shit up. That one happens a lot. And there are certain people that seem to be exempted from that.
Yes.
Like a Brad Pitt, seems to be exempt from people bringing up like, hey man, every time we see your name, we should probably say, didn't you choke one of your kids? And didn't Angelina Jolie accuse you of abuse and all this stuff? Nah, he's just, hey, Brad partying with 25-year-old girl at his birthday, 60th birthday party. Good old Brad Pitt, like it is what it is, in that there's a double standard. And Ezra Miller's, to me, the most germane double standard to point out with Jonathan Majors, because Ezra Miller did a spree of shit in a very short period of time.
Right.
And WB was actively like, they are too good of an actor and we're going to stick beside them. And I think there's no way to not acknowledge that elephant in the room.
Right.
Shoe Booty says, Mel motherfucking Gibson. Oh, speak of the devil. Speak of the white devil. Prime example of letting terrible white dudes off the hook. Sean Penn, Mark Wahlberg. And Oppie says, there are so many. The consequences are the exception, in that we even get some consequences. Sometimes it's pretty new. EVE says, I think Jonathan Majors' career is basically over. He may probably get work here and there. Mostly black projects, but I doubt it will be on the same trajectory as it was before. Yeah, I doubt it'll be on the same trajectory, but I doubt his career is over.
All right.
I really do.
His career's not over.
I mean, one, he's a very talented actor. No offense to Nate Parker. That was his name, Nate Parker. You said Nate Turner.
Oh,
Nat Turner.
Nate
Parker. No offense to Nate Parker.
Oh, he played Nat Turner.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I said Nat. That was like, it's a reason why I said Nat Turner.
No offense to Nate Parker, but I think Jonathan Majors is a better actor than him. And
I agree.
And he may at some point have he may have a more prominent career than Nate Parker did after his stuff. I do believe he's guilty of at least past abuse, so I don't feel too bad about it. And while the double standard sucks in that a white actor will probably continue to get work instead of wishing he gets let off the hook because white actors are, we should wish more white actors were held accountable as well. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And honestly, like the Jonathan Majors thing is interesting to me in that it doesn't really seem like people care about just depending on who you're talking to, people don't really seem to care about those. The text messages are just, that's it. Like the text messages are, he definitely seemed like he hit that woman in the head and said, don't go to the hospital.
It's something.
I don't even know what we fighting about. Like what am I as a black person getting out of Jonathan Majors continuing to be Kane or putting out magazine dreams? I don't see what's in it for me that I need to be fighting for him like he's a black leader. He's just a actor. Like y'all laughed at him for saying I'm a great man and I need Coretta Scott King, but then you acted like he's fucking a great man who needs a Coretta Scott King. And like, he just acted. I'm not wishing any ill will on him. If he would have continued to be King, it's not like I would have been like, well, goddamn, I'm fucking done with Marvel. I just get it. It just, it's a real bad look. And I see why they will be like, in this time of upheaval, where we're moving all kinds of shit around, you're letting people go, you got to go too.
Yes, sir.
And also, people don't let shit go anyway. So like this whole idea of if Marvel would have said, we sticking with them, everybody would have been like, well, fine by me. No, then people would have been like, oh, so y'all think it's okay to do it? Nah, fuck that. The parents of the 2-year-old who was forced to reenact Rosa Parks getting arrested have shown so much more restraint than I would have, because hands would be laid on that teacher if that was my child. I hear you. And we had, I think one comment for the YouTube video for 2824 up, down, and to the side. J Full says, does Karen wear her bonnet on her work Zoom calls?
No, I do not.
All right.
I just yank it off real quick because it's not tight, so I just be like, oops.
Yeah. And then the poll was, would you take a vaccine to lower your cholesterol? Yes or no?
Yes.
80% of our audience says yes. 20% say no. When it comes to Spotify, I added an extra option for the Spotify that I didn't do on our website. My bad. But it's, would you take the vaccine to lower your cholesterol? Yes, no, or it's got the 5G in it. 11% think it's got the 5G.
Oh no!
Of the rest, it's 63% yes, 26% no.
That's hilarious.
So, and the Q&A was hospital potatoes. Roger PJ says, I think that the Dr. Jackie video popped up because she just had an interview with VP Kamala Harris to platform advocating for Black women maternity survival. So I think this clip was brought up to throw dirt on her. Oh, so it was a dish you. Got it. Cheyenne says Olive Garden did that too. Set out baked potatoes bar in the back. The servers went back and forth, serving at the same time. So y'all didn't even get like a time.
Catering service.
Not fuck catering. Y'all didn't even get a time to eat the fucking shitty potatoes.
Oh,
Like they
so
didn't
y'all
even
do
say
it-
like, listen, for this 30 minutes, y'all just eat the potatoes and fellowship as coworkers.
Right.
They were like, table 3 need Parmesan. So you can finish your little baked potato when you get back. Merry Christmas.
Oh, kiss my ass.
Holidays from here, we're family. Mm-hmm. Family. A bad family. Good times family.
Mhm.
All right, let's get into another segment. Okay, there's all kinds of stuff to talk about, but y'all know what y'all came here to hear. For the gram, 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 for the gram. Doing it for the gram, keeping up with the theme. On the Instagram, the Black Guy Who Tips, I posted a picture of me and Karen's pizza. And what is the worst thing your job gave you instead of a monetary bonus?
Oh no, ain't no telling what.
Yeah.
Ooh, child, these guys, I can't even imagine the comments.
A lot of short answers. Candy.
Candy.
Yeah. Instead
I
of,
want candy. Sorry.
Ms. Barnes says an honorable mention. What does that even mean?
I don't know. Did they give you a one of them paper awards that they printed on the printers?
A pen? Nothing. Well, yeah.
I'm sorry. Shout out to Aqua Teen Hunger Force when that candy. I'm sorry. I had to break out into a song every time I hear that.
A rock. A literal rock that said, "You rock," says Mucho Mama with an angry face.
Ooh, child. I'm surprised somebody didn't throw that rock back at them.
Miss Super CK says, "Depression."
Oh, no.
That's terrible. DJ Java says, in my first job as a printer years ago, I got a cheap ass box of chocolates and a company Christmas card that I printed. Then the next year I got a frozen chicken, not a turkey, a chicken for fuck's sake. A chicken. That's a weird one. Eso Rar says pens and a lanyard with the name of the company. Yeah, what am I gonna use that for?
Right, and he put my name on it.
Yeah. What? Damien says a blue plastic star. I told on a guy stealing $3,800 worth of camp rental money. I should have let him keep it. Ha! Flicks Chick G says the response of laughter when I asked for a raise or bonus for taking on a whole manager role on top of my role because the dude quit right before the team was launching. I did the damn thing. And when I asked about monetary recognition, my boss laughed. It was that moment that I knew, let it all burn. Yeah, you laugh in my motherfucking face. Get out of here.
Yeah, something like that. You left my face. Not so funny. I liable to quit. Like I'm liable to. Okay, since it's funny, be funny without me then.
Yeah, people say, I hope you. Oh, someone said same thing happened to me. So triggering, she said, I hope you left the country. Company. Sorry, company. Risa says $5 gift card.
5?
Mm-hmm.
I got 5 on it. Apparently they did have 5.
Bokai says a toolkit.
What am I do with a toolkit?
Fix your face. Because that's what you're going to have to do.
Yeah. With that toolkit, you're going to have to chisel that frown into a smile, apparently.
His wife for life says a lottery ticket. I lost. Layla says, I know you said instead of money, but I got a surprise bonus today, and over half of it was ate up by taxes. I'm hot as fish grease right now. Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, on this thread, you in the wrong place.
Yeah, this ain't
people talking about getting candy, and you like, they took a lot of the money they gave me, so you don't count, Layla.
Yeah, you don't count.
A $5 Starbucks gift card. I've gotten that before. Caramel 20 says cookies and apple cider. Harris Gunn says that glue sanitizer during COVID. Oh.
Not ain't a good sanitizer. Sanitizer, they basically stick your fucking hands together. Ugh.
A lapel pin is always the darn pizza shaking my head.
They love that goddamn pizza, don't they?
Dana Lanier says one of the subscription boxes filled with bougie vegan snacks that tasted like ass. Trying to make you be healthy.
Right.
A recognition email to the department. Someone said same, which included more responsibility. Damn. Hey, congratulations. We recognize your hard work. Also, we're going to need y'all to start staying in on Saturday. A bland holiday party where I had to talk to people I didn't want to talk to during work or a party. It was paid at least, but I would have preferred to just go back to the house by humbug.
Yeah, and something else they love to do with the holiday parties, particularly if your company doesn't do like holiday parties after hours, they love to do a holiday party in the middle of the week and then turn around and have everybody take their own personal lunch break, whatever your lunch break is, and pay you for it. But bitch, I want my lunchtime. I want to be able to go what I want. Well, like I'm here stuck with y'all when I would rather be doing anything else. Like you're wasting my time.
Ariel says a card and ugly sweater contest at 5:30 p.m. today, our last day before Christmas, but I work for the government, so that just means you gotta stay late.
Yeah.
A $5 Subway gift card with no money on it. What?
And then somebody already spent the $5?
How's it a $5 card if it has no money on it?
Right.
It wasn't my current job, but a former job decided to switch policy at random and decided that instead of holiday bonuses, they became performance bonuses that would come out of our yearly review. Good luck if you had planned on using that holiday bonus to buy gifts, which I often did. Of course, they didn't tell us until a week before Christmas.
Right. Because they know they told people ahead of time, people would have been pissed.
Well, they were probably more pissed to not have that time to know. The Lucky Nun says, when I worked for the local hospital 1 year, they decided to give employees $20 gift certificate redeemable at the overpriced hospital gift shop. Instead of the usual $25 cash bonus, the board of trustees awarded the CEO a 6-figure bonus for being so thrifty. Fuck. Woo. Delasia says, my job likes to give us jackets and Yeti thermoses with their logo on them, but the worst gift they got us was a Christmas basket full of random junk like coffee. I don't drink coffee, a puzzle, a book, cookies, and other random shit I probably threw away. They also catered a disgusting dry-ass Thanksgiving meal this year from an Israeli cafe bakery. That place don't even do Thanksgiving food. I think they was just trying to make a statement of solidarity with Israel. Oh, well, also like, wouldn't they be open? You know, like, because ethnic food is normally what's open on American holidays. Yeah, so that's wild. And someone said that Thanksgiving shit was out of line, and then she said, realize. Word to ride on that one. Monica says, my former place of employment ran the gamut from $400 to not a damn thing at times. Black Widow when I want to says, my current job just adds a few grand to our 401k at Christmas, but in the past, I had a boss give me a pail of coal. It was chunks of black licorice candy. It was a fitting gift because I was naughty, mean as fuck. I hated Christmas, but I love black licorice. Okay, well, that doesn't sound like that bad a gift. S. Jones 2 says, a card asking us to give to a charity. Nigga, I'm a charity. White Label America says, as a teenager living in Ibadan, I ran a poultry for my uncle. That nigga still brags to this day about how the chickens I raised while going to high school were the fattest around, hence they're selling out quickly. And what did I get as payment? An IOU and chicken thighs. with my obligatory Christmas jollof rice. These Afrobeat kids of today don't know how good they got it. A king was born watching that man count all that money. Over 300 chickens couldn't give me one. Just wait after I fix my time machine. Y'all fucked. Play King gonna give it to you. The rare element says I lay off a layoff the day before my 20th anniversary, and I got a Kindle for a bonus. Damn. It's like, you got time to read.
Plenty of time, apparently.
An umbrella that broke the first time I used it.
That's hilarious.
A memory stick to help me do and save more work, I suppose. High blood pressure.
Oh
A $15 Visa gift card that taxed at 25%. They could have kept that, someone replied. Laid off instead of getting the raise I was supposed to get at the end of my third year there. I was told they were doing budget cuts. Well, that's not really a gift at all. Appia's mom says we can also reward colleagues with Spark points and have €100 budget for it. You can write a nice thank you card, for example, a cute dog on it and the word inspired. No way to avoid it, but okay on it. You can attach a text and give a helpful colleague for exchange, for example, 20. I have no idea what Spark points are. Bam Bam Cam says a company sweatshirt that was irregular. Not one sleeve too long.
That one just didn't fit right. The seam off.
Domino's gift card. Someone says I work for the government job, so we don't get bonuses. But before COVID, management would treat us to catered food. One year it was Mexican food, which I love. This slot was some of the nastiest food ever. Tossed mine out. Turned out this same restaurant was shut down several months later for multiple health code violations. I stopped participating in these celebrations and would go out and get some good food. One year, I walked in with In-N-Out burger bags to the chagrin of coworkers.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. That's very frustrating because it depends on who does the budget. Because sometimes the people who actually doing this catering, they're trying to do what is the cheapest thing possible for the most amount of food. So a lot of times, depending on it, they'll do like a lot of them love that barbecue. They love that shredded shit. As you can feed more people and then it stretches across, because like the real quote unquote catering costs more per person. But you don't want to give a fucking bonus. At least spend the money somewhere if you're going to spend the money. And I don't blame you. I wouldn't have participated either.
Someone said I hope with lots of onions on those burgers. They gave us coupons for ice cream, only redeemable at Publix. It was only like $1 off too.
What?
Homemade desserts.
I don't want your homemade desserts.
Right? Homemade. I thought you were a company. I worked for a local TV station at the time, and when we worked the holiday, we only got one Chick-fil-A sandwich every year. Someone said Taco Cabana box lunch. My job had a pizza party with a $100 gift card drawing. Right before the draw, my boss announced there would be a second place drawing where the winner gets to take home the leftover pizza. My name was drawn first, which my boss decided was the second place. So I was gifted leftover pizza. The worst part is that after they made us hold the theatrical giant check for the gift card winner, that picture was plastered all over LinkedIn and Facebook, and I would describe my face as some combination of unhinged, disturbed, and potentially violent.
Oh, damn.
Yep. A gift certificate for a salon where I was told none of the stylists did my kind of hair. God damn.
What's the point of it then?
Right. A paper certificate. The point was they thought a white person would win.
Right.
Someone said potatoes. I'm like, you work at that hospital?
Right.
Not for the company I work for, but part of my crew had to assist some contractors finishing the job. They were thankful they were helped out, and there was a promise of lunch. We were thinking we would get barbecue, and all 10 of us cracked up when we were awarded an 8-inch plate size meat tray. A 3-day weekend. 3-day weekend. Okay. Abby's mom says we're only allowed to get Spark points. Oh, sir. Other comments was in response to this.
Okay.
Points you can get yourself Amazon vouchers or similar stuff for. Our presents are other presents are forbidden, basically. Big Pharma doing great again. I'm sorry, but it's good. An ice scraper. Botan Batty says an evaluation that said if they had the budget to give me a raise, then they would have. Never got the raise. Damn. damn, we ain't got it, but you doing a good job. That's crazy.
Right.
Branded work merch such as scarves and hats. Yeah, those are always the worst. Where am I
Yeah.
gonna wear that?
Right. Well, but here,
No one's ever been like, God damn, that is a cool ass corporate hat. Where you get that from?
where you get that logo
the
from?
corporation?
Yes.
God, wow.
You know, that's a trend. Everybody wearing the logos of a company they don't work for.
Nobody was ever, no one was ever like going into the store. You never went into like a fucking Gap and been like, oh, okay, they really got, Inklefine and Lauren Smith accounting in here. Shit, that's what's up. All right.
Rocking that Johnson & Johnson, I see.
All right. That's doing it for the gram. It's time to get into some what was I gonna say? Voicemails, yeah.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. Story ends. Wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Another Psycho Music production.
All right, voicemail time. Before we get red pilled, I don't know. I feel like I might come back from this break and be like, and the problem is women be asking for too much.
Wait a minute. Let me blow this ash off myself.
Right. New beat from Psycho Music. Got a different type of show. All right. First voicemail.
Hi, Rod and Karen. Raphael here, the number one hustler. So, listening to episode 2823 and the talk about CSA going automation reminded me of a trip I took earlier this year to Amsterdam. Well, coming back from Amsterdam. And actually, they have something like that over there, hustler, kind of, do undercover stuff. And I didn't realize it because coming back, if you have American passport, I know you guys say America's ghetto, but yeah, you qualify for that. And I thought being black, the machine would recognize me, but I was even wearing a hat. I was like, do I take off the hat? There was no instructions. So I went through the machine and it just went through. And the guy stamped my passport. I was like, all right, get out. Get out of our country. I said, okay, all right, cool. It's cool. So a lot of people who had lesser passports, well, no offense to you guys, but the passports suck. I'm free. So, bougie. American, EU, and I think Hong Kong and some other passports were the chosen ones. And I was like, wow, look at that. You're all standing in line. Well, sucks to be you. And yeah, so there was no standing in line for, well, I guess, yeah, they had the TSA thing later on. But I think that's what they're copying. That, you go through something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, you just brought that to mind because I completely forgot about it until you guys brought the story up. So I'm like, I guess they're catching up to other countries doing something similar because I guess the machines carry my body. Made me feel like I was going through a James Bond movie. Alrighty, I'll call you guys later on with something else. I don't think it'll be.
All right.
No problem. They do have this thing called Clear that's similar to that. You have to pay like an extra fee on it, but it's similar to that where they basically scan you when you walk through, and they basically scan you and you can just kind of go through. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's like that. Sound like they just basically just scan your face or scan your body and be like, yo, you good?
Yeah, I think that's so American that we're late on something but acting like we first,
Come on, we're number one.
Yeah.
We always number one.
All right, next one is for alumni. You left 3 voicemails.
Hi, Rod and Karen. This is Olami, your favorite councilman out of Binghamton, New York. I'm calling to talk about that episode that you was talking about voting and how important voting is. To give you even much of an update. You know that I won my seat in my district, as well as there's been other 5 Democratic seats in other districts. And we would have had 7. Unfortunately, it became a tie. Now that we are led to be in power, for the council seat, for our council seats, that the mayor, Jared Cram, decided that he would be the one to be able to appoint the seventh candidate until they're able to get the special election. Well, unfortunately, the mayor seems to want to go against the city charter that states that the majority has the right to appoint for that seventh seat in the council. He chooses to go against that charter and use a second class law that states that the mayor has the right. He claims that the New York Council of Mayors and stated that it supersedes the city charter. Whereas we have a lawyer of our own that has an opinion, as well as the Board of Elections state that we do have.
Yeah, I cut off.
Sorry about that. So, suffice it to say, we're going to war over who we shall appoint for that seat. We won't be sworn in until January 1st, and so we're now running to try to get this started here. We even released a press release to local news as well as we put on Facebook. Figure you're the only media outlet that I know of that I can talk to, though. If you might reach a lot of listeners, and by with a lot of listeners, I'm hoping maybe some people can write into to the city of Binghamton, to the mayor Jared Cram, saying that he's wrong for doing what he's doing. And I'm feeling alone because I saw this and I mentioned this about that we should go and sign the oath book so that way we can always appoint somebody in that. But that didn't seem to work out well. Nobody listened. Being that I'm the second person of color in the room, they didn't bother to listen to the first when she was talking about putting out the press release. So I just feel that the council elect that we have are not listening to the people of color, who happens to know white people more than they know themselves. And so I'm feeling upset. I'm feeling hurt. I don't like the fact of that if I had power.
Got cut off again.
So I don't like the fact that if I had power, that it be usurped from me. I don't like the fact that the mayor is trying to tell us who we have as a clerk, nor who we have to appoint, who he feel like should appoint. I don't like it, and I don't like the feeling, and I don't like that my other council elect candidates don't want to listen to the people of color. So I don't know what to do. I don't know, with all this stress, that maybe should resign, or I should keep going through this, especially if they're not going to listen, or move differently, and recognize that the people that we're trying to bipartisan with are not about bipartisan. And this is why it's important to vote. This is why it's important to vote people in office who are willing to fight and keep democracy, not take away democracy. Because in the end, this is our lives on the line. In the end, when it comes to that time where that fascist gets in office, we'll be on the chopping block. I don't know if people recognize that's why it's important to vote. That's why people died for the vote. So that's what I have to say. That's what I get off my chest. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. Sorry for the 3 calls.
All good. Thank you, man. I know it got into the weeds there, and we don't know the local Binghamton politics and
Politics,
stuff,
right.
but I believe you said you encourage people to like write in, if to the to the city. I'm not sure like exactly how they would do that, like where, but
Right.
I'm sure there's gotta be for
Something.
people that live there and stuff, there's gotta be some way to write in.
Yeah.
And then I think ultimately you talked about should you quit or something. I don't think you should. I think one, there's a presence of you being in the room to watch what happened as a witness that is extremely important, because a lot of times these things happen behind closed doors and there is nobody being transparent and there is nobody that's willing to come out and be like, this was fucked up, this is what happened, this is what was said. And instead we just come out of there and go, oh, I guess the mayor appoints the seventh person,
Right.
and we find out, oh, that's actually not true, and there was a discussion and they didn't give a fuck. And then also like encouraging people to vote and so we can get people in there that will fight is part of the reason. I think the tools to fight are difficult.
Yep, they are.
And it's not just a like a physical fight. It's whether it's protest, whether it's making a stand, maybe it's finding the bylaws and the loopholes that gum up the works for the majority party or the Republican Party or the what like. Sometimes that might be what it is, but I also feel you and want to recognize the dejected feeling of not being heard and not being listened to and not being in that room. And I think not being listened to in that room and being in that room amongst people that are essentially like, we have the majority. That's it. We're not interested in any negotiation or bipartisanship. And as you said, it just goes back to the unavoidable point of, if people gave a fuck and voted for the things they say they believe, you wouldn't be in that situation. You know what I mean? You wouldn't be. In Charlotte, we have one Republican council member. One. And so whether you like what our city does or not, shit gets done. They do stuff. Because they're not constantly in some type of weird gridlock where it's just like, well, look, we voted some Republicans in, we voted some Democrats in, and look, sometimes they don't do nothing. Like, nah, I'd rather we get shit done. And I think people often undercut their local stuff, because I don't believe people that say, I vote locally, just not nationally. No, they don't, because the numbers say you don't. The numbers say when it's not a national election for president, the fucking numbers drop off a goddamn cliff, because people aren't really doing that shit. So yeah, I encourage people to still be active and vote. And I actually think even with you feeling dejected, you calling in and saying this and giving people insight into the process is so valuable. And I would hate for people to lose that, even if I don't know that our platform is the right place for like local Binghamton politics,
Right.
but just the general idea of like what's happening in your local politics matters so much. I was listening to this podcast on the media, and they were talking about people who avoid the news. And one of the things the guy brought up was how there are people that consume a lot of news, consider themselves knowledgeable, can't tell you anything about their local politics.
Right.
Because the MSNBC isn't covering your local politics. They're covering media stories and narratives nationally. So they can't tell you who to vote for in their city council. They can't tell you what their mayor's up to. They can't tell you anything about the budget of the local municipality. And I think that's a big hole in the information sphere that also needs to be filled, which is keeping up with local stuff. And I hope you're able to find that.
Yeah, and also listening to you talk helps solidify my perspective and my point of view. A lot of people, particularly on social media, it's a disconnect, because a lot of those people act like everything is a simple wave of the wand and you can just get people to act right. It's a simple wave of the wand, and all of a sudden everything that we want for can just happen. And that's not true. They don't want to participate in the system. And then the people that are actually trying to do something on the inside, because the thing is, you need agitation on the inside and you need agitation on the outside. You need both in order for progress and things to get done. And the thing is, the people on the inside need to be powered and equipped enough where they can do their jobs to the best of their ability. And the public does these people a disservice when they don't vote, when they don't participate, when they don't engage themselves. Because the thing about voting here, we don't think of voting as a civic duty here. We think voting as always being quote unquote optional. In other parts of the world, voting is a civic duty, and you vote because it's the quote unquote right thing to do. I'm a part of this country. I want to participate in the system. I want my voice to be heard. So it's something I must do. But in America, it's structured very, very different. Everything is a quote unquote option. So a lot of times the importance of it and the power of it is not emphasized in this country. And because it's not emphasized, people don't know. We do a terrible job here in America as far as teaching people what the three branches of the government is, what they actually do. Like as time goes along and as I see people posting on social media, we have the most knowledge we've ever had, but yet we have some of the dumbest populace. But I'm going, oh, that's because a lot of people didn't learn basic shit, and they learned it on the fly. For some people, they don't understand what power, what branches of the government has what power and what their limitation of their power actually is. And so you see people going around with misinformation, wrong information, going around with hoax and things that are not true. When somebody like you going, hey, y'all, I actually deal with this, and this is the bullshit that I'm dealing with. And when you come out and tell them, they act like the shit that you're saying is not true because it's not an easy fix. Nothing is an easy fix. You have to participate in something if you want something to change. You can't just sit and complain. Don't put no skin in the game, and then want to play the victim.
Yeah, basic civics. People don't know it. We see people ranting and raving all the time about shit that, how did you not know this? We learned this early, but yeah. All right, last voicemail from Terrence.
Hey, y'all, it's your man, the Internet's Tay-Rail 713. It has absolutely nothing to do with what occurred on the show this week, unless it happened at some point I have not caught up to. Just happened to be, it just happens to be the Christmas season. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Happy New Year and all that. And I was at the spot the other day doing some stocking stuffer shopping and came across some sake. And I was like, oh shit, I have not mixed sake and eggnog in a few seasons now. And I know that was a joint y'all came up with. So I copped some sake and I got some of the best eggnog ever in my fridge right now. Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking, I cannot wait to mix that up again and have that wonderful drink that y'all put me on to. I don't know if y'all created it, but you certainly put me on to. And so I thought I'd show some love, send y'all some Christmas greetings. Merry Christmas to you and yours, as I said earlier. And I'm telling you right now, y'all, don't forget about a shot of sake and a cup of eggnog. Shoot that. Man, fantastic. Thanks again, y'all. Have a good one.
Yeah, we absolutely did create that. Because I remember at the time trying to look up to see if anyone else had made it, if it was a recipe anywhere else. What he's referring to is a long time ago. But I want to say when we first started the show, basically, we had a drink that we called the Nagasaki bomb. Mm-hmm. And it was, you take eggnog and some sake. You take a cup of eggnog and you drop the sake in it. Very inappropriate. We actually had a white listener who wrote in to talk about how much he hated that we made that joke and all this shit, which I get it, but okay. All right, we made the joke. We can't unmake the joke. Yeah, it was that shit was hitting though.
It's absolutely, we haven't had it in a while either. You making me think about it. It was absolutely delicious.
Yeah, it was extremely good. So, but yeah, also I do get that it was also extremely offensive to people. So it just depends on what kind of person you are. All right, let's get to these emails. All right, let me play a little music in case we want to throw something in here. Let's get into these emails. The first one's just from DJ Jaffa saying that he sent us the Who News intro and it slaps. Thank you.
Yes,
We
I like
appreciate you.
I like my hoodoos because child, that is me, and I am it.
This one's from Brandon saying he sent us something from our Amazon wish list. I'll uh he said, oh, okay, I don't want to spoil the gift, so I'll read it later.
Okay.
Or I read it. I got you, bro. Thank you.
Okay.
Scott, aka Psycho Music, sent us some new music. I played Red or Blue Pill. That's one of the songs.
Mhm.
What up, fam? Love the show as always. Come here for the banter and the jokes. Lead with education and information. Since the year is coming to an end, I thought I would leave you and the Blackout Tips family with a few beats, and I will work them into the rotation. Scott is always appreciated.
Mhm.
Is Scott one of the people that don't like if I say their name? God damn it, son of a bitch. I'm sorry, Scott. Please don't write in upset. I'm my bad, bro. My bad.
My bad.
You got to change your fucking name
You gotta
on
change
the
your
email
handle.
thing because I'm reading 100 emails, bro.
Yeah, so
Cut me some slack. I'm sorry.
Rod just reads what he sees. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Damn. I think he might be one of the ones. Fuck.
Sorry, Scott.
I don't know what he's avoiding. I don't know he got warrants, but I'm sorry.
right. The government looking for you. My bad.
Jeff says, Rod and Karen, thank you for another great year of fantastic info and banter. All the new sections, LGBTQ news, just all of it. Keep reaching high. Love when you mention about the comments. If these bad things happen to Black people, those people are usually ignoring the facts about our lives in America with things like, and it's police fatally shoot Black woman who called 911 for domestic violence. Ugh, man. Yeah, that fucks with us. May they be reminded that there's never been some saving Black folks shit happen. They are just angry and want to point. All love and continue best for 2024. Jeff in Japan, now listening from home in NYC. Congrats on being home. I hope you're enjoying it.
Me too.
Absolutely, man. I don't. Then you just don't know what we are talking about. If you think we're some type of fucking cherished minority that they are looking out for, then you bought into the white supremacist lies about us. You think that small percentage at Harvard is like overrepresented. You think that's fucking what you believe is that 0 Black people should be in Harvard.
Right.
So if 4% of the university is Black, then therefore 4%, they just let in 4% of undeserving Negroes. That's what you believe.
Right.
And that's why you go, as an Asian, I wish they treat us like Black people. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
You believe the bullshit too then.
Yes, you do.
You know, all this shit. I bet if I was Black, if you were Black, you be just as fucked up, if not worse. It's still America, damn it.
Right.
Our girl, Miss Crisable, says, Rodrin, now paging Dr. Jackie to stop. Rod, that tea you spilled on Dr. Jackie from Married with Medicine literally had my panties in a bunch all week. Bitch, they disused her after the episode of Dr. Jackie having a meeting with the head, aka in charge, our illustrious MVP of MVPs, Kamala. Pronounced Kamala Jamaica Harris. About, guess what? The crisis of Black maternal health care in America and how President Papa and them are helping through medicated hotlines. Now, common sense may not be common for everyone else, but I think it would have been easy for Dr. Jackie to say something like, my bad, I see all these words were harmful. I was venting with another healthcare professional, but that's not an excuse. I'm a tireless advocate for Black pregnant people, and now I have to work harder in the field of reproductive justice to right my wrongs. I'm sorry. The kicker is the other part of the episode. The crew bullied this loquacious, verbose, vocabularious, dramatic drama queen, chocolate baddie, quad, off the trip, and possibly the show they were on because she didn't take accountability for not shouting them out first in one of her speeches years and years ago. Mind you, she was being very sweet and sincere since she got on the trip. Mind you, it's because they ignored her and low-key took the side of her abusive ex-husband and her divorce. And the other ladies were, this feels like Binghamton politics again. I don't know what the fuck. What?
Somebody following it.
Yeah, somebody out there know this shit. I'm just reading it for y'all.
I bet you Justin does.
And the other ladies she shouted out, actually held her down during that period. But we'll see what the rest of the cast has to say about the whole Dr. Jackie situation. A situation with the ramifications of our literal life and death, as opposed to the fifis and the egos, quad hurt, nignogs. Why is accountability so hard for people? I'm like, damn, throw the whole world in the trash. Aliens come back, strip us of all our resources, and terminate our species, please. Put us out of our misery. We deserve nothing but death and destruction. Well, I'm not going with you there. I would like to live. Everything is so aggy, and I think it's too late for me to take an edible. Let me do my nightcap CBD oil to calm my nerves and go to sleep. Night, night. Hugs and kisses, Miss Crucible. Yeah, I hear you. I don't know anything about that second paragraph, but I hear you. Episode 2824, Up, Down, to the Side. Theron says, hello, Rod and Karen. Relating to your discussion on election news, my wife's brother called her Friday for her birthday. During the call, he mentioned to her that he was going to vote for Nikki Haley. My wife asked him why, and he said it was because of the economy, crime, and not Trump. In which she asked him why would he want to screw over his daughters, granddaughters, and nieces, why he was willing to give control of their bodies to the white government. She asked him when was the last time he paid $1 for a gallon of gas. Prices ain't dropping to that level ever again, especially under Republicans.
Right.
Asked if he wanted the whitewash history of saying niggas were happier and slaves and freedom was the worst thing for all involved. She explained to him that the stock market is at the highest level ever, unemployment is at the lowest point ever, all under Biden. She asked when was trickle down ever helpful to him personally. The rich keep money, they don't pass it down to nobody but their heirs. After over an hour talking, he ended the call, thanking her for giving him a different point of view to consider. That was nice of you. In other election news, I was home in Shreveport for the Caddo Parish Sheriff runoff election. I asked my parents about it, and they told me it was a runoff between a black deputy with over 15 years of law enforcement experience versus the propped up white politician with zero experience backed by the retiring racist sheriff. What a joyous moment seeing the election results showing the brother winning by just one vote. People were going around saying, see how every vote counts. The loser demanded a recount because he mentioned that there were election irregularities. And guess what? The recount showed that the brother still won by just one vote. Now a Republican judge has ruled that the election must be redone. I guess the Republican-dominated Louisiana legislature will step in to ensure the brother loses. We can only pray that the people go back to the polls and reelect the brother again for a second time in less than 2 months. Welcome to America. Peace out. Listen, they never, it was pronounced Theron, my bad. Theron, they never stop fighting.
Right. That's what I don't understand. These motherfucking quitters on the left, you get on my fucking nerves. Like I said, I'm fed up with y'all. You're getting my fucking nerves. I don't want to vote. I don't want to participate. It's like, well, bitch, they don't. They always own. They will take they old ass octogenarian oxygen tank asses to that pole, pull that lever, and turn around and die before they give you your motherfucking rights that you talking about. Woo, child, he too old. Get the fuck out of my face.
Chris says, hey, yo, Pastor Rod and First Lady Karen, what up? It's Chris from over here in the musician section. We still need to discuss this budget because the white churches are still saying the election was rigged, but they do be paying, though. Anyway, I do have 2 questions for you, but first, I got some things on my heart. Firstly, I have to apologize to my fellow Tip fam. When I came down for the live show, I planned to leave and be there on time, but being the black person I am, I was on mad CP time. So I was driving for 4 hours away, mad late, and I didn't have time to stop and get anything to eat. And you know how that breath be when you ain't ate anything for a while. I was just laughing all hard at my man Mark and them bullet balls. So I apologize to the good brother and the lovely couple sitting beside me. Oh, man. Well, I guess they've been waiting on that. They know they are.
Waiting on an apology.
Secondly, a few episodes back, you mentioned the GOAT, Cinnamon Love, who was in my top 5 with Jada Fire, Pinky, Janet Jackman, and Sydney Capri. And since I ain't never going to see her and she probably don't care, here's my story how I first learned about her. I was on OK Player looking at Quest's True Hollywood Stories, and he had a picture with her. Well, with the combination of her name and looks, I was like, damn, I know she got a dope ass album. She do got a catalog.
Yes, a catalog.
Well, imagine my surprise when I Googled her on the work computer.
Oh no!
For something to listen to and found out she did have some dope ass albums. A photo album. Yeah. She went in a different kind of work over there. Now she's actually like a really dope follow on social media, not just because of the thirst traps and shit, but she's like an advocate for like sex workers and like she's very like politically involved and stuff, and she's kind of like a ethereal hippie kind of black woman, just so I like following her for all that stuff too. In addition to, the cakes and all that stuff. Now, I'm not I'm not so high minded. You know, she's still bad as hell, but it's just she really she's it's more than what you think, you know, and it makes sense that she would be kicking it with Questlove and all kinds of stuff. She just seemed like a person that be doing whatever. I remember she posted being at the Little Brother concert in New York, and I was like, she know about Little Brother up here in New York. Let's go. But on to my two questions. How do you two cope with the amount of bad news we're bombarded with daily? Like, have you built up an immunity to it? I remember hearing you say your parents had you reading books about blackness at an early age. So does that have something to do with it? I mean, my parents did have me doing that. I wouldn't say I built up an immunity to it. I just feel like comedy definitely helps. Talking it out helps. Finding the funny in stuff. And then also like the freedom to just be like, I don't find this funny has been built into our show. So there's times when we talk about something that's serious and it's not funny, and we don't have to like get up here and be clowns for y'all. And of course we can always take a break whenever we feel like it. Like no one can make us do this show unless we want to. And yeah, I think that's it for me. How about you?
For me, you have to limit things. And we live in the age of social media and being always on and being always plugged in, where the world tells you you have to know all of the things all of the time, but you don't. Sometimes you just be like, all right, I have reached whatever my max is and I'm tapping out. You come back now, but you know, find out whatever your limit is, because that's how people burn out. People burn out by always being on and never turning themselves off, never backing away, never pushing away, never saying, hey, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to spend time with my kids, go to the movies, play video games, exercise, whatever these things is, whatever you need to do for your mental capacity. Because the thing is, a lot of times it's designed to burn you out. And I think, and I understand a lot of people's attitude and apathy and all this shit that they have. A lot of people just burnt out. They don't turn themselves off and they're always on. And when you're always on, you become disengaged. Like there's a separation and you feel like nothing matters, nothing counts. Why am I doing this? And a lot of that is internally you're burnt out and you do not know how to rekindle, refresh and replenish and get your mind and your body and spirit right, so that you're able to, quote unquote, come back and consume these things. And I think for a lot of people, they deal with burnout and they don't know how to express. I'm personally dealing with burnout. They make their burnout everybody else's problems. So their burnout comes in I don't want to vote, what the fuck is this, you know, all these other things, other than just the reality of it is you're burnt out. The human mind is not designed for the overload that social media and the news has it all the time. It's designed to consistently have your anxiety high. It's designed to consistently keep you in fear. It's designed to consistently keep you angry, mad, sad, depressed. Whatever your quote unquote trigger is, the news will find a way to plug into it and keep you on. The body and the mind and the spirit are not designed to be like that. And that's the end results.
Yeah, I think another thing is the show has games and fun stuff built into it too, and banter and silly stuff. And you know, that stuff balances it out, not just for y'all as listeners, but for us as the people that make it.
Correct.
So those are the ways I cope with it. Let's see. Also, and yeah, for lack of a better term, and some people may take this offensive, and that's fine, but when you talk about me reading books about blackness and race and suffering and stuff, matter of fact, no, let me find a better term, because I don't want to offend people. That's not my goal here. Mm-hmm. I have a bit of a callous about those things, and I haven't become callous, but I have a bit of toughness about me from knowing this is the real truth from early on. So when I watch an Ava DuVernay movie, I'm not dinging her for the uncomfortableness of the truth. Whereas, no offense to some of my fellow Black folks and podcasters and movie reviewers, and I really do mean no offense. I understand where they're coming from, but I feel like there's a lot of internal work and reckoning that hasn't been done, and they think that they're being revolutionary by not wanting these stories told, or not wanting Ava DuVernay or drapetomaniacs or whoever to exist or to do their thing, or acting like we're mining trauma porn or some shit when really we're trying to tell these fucking stories.
Right.
These important moments, the moments that are glossed over now, we're telling. The shit they're erasing from the books that the kids get in school, like that is important. And I think that will always out trump my uncomfortableness. And I don't revel in it. It's not like I'm watching all the shit or like I'm always on here giving y'all speeches about how y'all can't handle it, but I can. But you know, part of this is I can handle that shit to a certain extent, and I feel like it's important.
Yeah, and also something that I've realized and something that I had to get over, and a lot of people may or may not ever come to this reality. People run away from feelings, period. People run away from feelings. When these things are presented to you and you get the feeling of sadness, you get the feeling of guiltiness, you get all these different feelings, these range of emotions that overcome you, a lot of people like to shut the shit down versus saying, I feel like this. Why do I feel like this? And actually sitting in the emotions. We live in a society where people don't want to sit in their feelings and emotions, and they think all feelings other than happiness and joy are bad. And that's not a true statement. You have to feel these other emotions, because once you sit in those emotions, you get through those emotions, you have a better understanding, you have a better enlightenment over what happened and the sacrifice. That's why people don't understand, and people had to disconnect between the sacrifices. Because if you go through those feelings, you have a better understanding. And instead of that sadness, sometimes you will get angry and you will be like, no, we're going to tell these stories because it's very important that people know that these things happen. But if you haven't dealt with your own internal traumas, whatever they might be, for slavery, for being black, for your ancestors, for whatever happened, if you have not dealt with that, the end result is for you to shut shit down. Don't talk about it. Don't discuss it. Don't bring it up. But what you fail to realize, this is the same tactic of white supremacists. A lot of times when black people do this, I was like, oh, y'all doing the job of the white supremacists. You know how shit get erased because white people are in their feelings and then black people are in their feelings. So then nobody gets to learn it. So it's like, no, I can't do that. I cannot allow history to be erased because your feelings are bigger than the facts of people knowing about these things.
And he goes on to say, also my last question is, there's an official place away from social media that I can present things to the present the things that Biden administration is doing. I know they are doing a great job with a lot, and I would like to be able to show one of my younger acquaintances to help him out. He's at that age around the mid-20s where he's searching for knowledge, but he gets sucked into social media tropes and he's listening to Joe Rogan thinking it's deep. I can't fault him too much because I was at the same place not too long ago when I was looking to be more knowledgeable, and I was with this girl and I repeated something Fox News of all things said about Obama trying to sound smart. To this day, she still side-eyes me. She thought, even though I've never voted Republican, I vote Dem at every election, big and small, I actually didn't believe that crap. I was just trying to sound smart and I ended up looking dumb forever. I don't want this to happen to him, so I'm trying to save him. Thanks for enduring my long ass ramble. I'm gonna go donate on top of my subscription to make up for it. Happy holidays and thanks for everything. Well, Chris, I think there's a few places, but one of the easiest things is to just Google Biden administration accomplishments. I was going to spend an episode on here one day reading them off, and I still may before the election next year.
Mm-hmm.
But because the White House has a page about it, and so you can get it straight from there. Here's the things we've accomplished, and I think it's important because it's not happening and it's not fair and balanced. It is important that somebody at some point do something that is only about the accomplishments, because the criticisms we've all heard,
right?
The fair and unfair, by the way. I'm not saying all criticisms are unfair, but it's so overemphasized on people being critical that when you make the case for the administration, when you bring up the progress for the administration, people act like they've never fucking heard this shit before.
A lot of them have.
So many people are like, what have they done? Nothing. Where's Kamala Harris? And it's stupid tropes. It's stuff from, like you said, Fox News, Joe Rogan. It's made it to mainstream where feelings are facts. And if you feel like you ain't seen Kamala Harris, then that means you ain't seen her and she ain't doing nothing.
Right.
Regardless of all the headlines and news articles to the contrary. And it's one of the reasons is one of the reasons that our show is so pro Democrats is because the Democrats are the only party that is interested in fucking governing.
Mhm.
If we had a balance, if there was some reason for me to feel like, oh, these are not the motherfuckers fighting for the last scraps of what America could try to be, then I would be more fair and like, oh, okay, well, yeah, Republicans made some points too. They're not making points. They're not interested in governing. And so, yeah, at some point, maybe we'll do an episode like that, but we need some piece of content that people can be like, hey, man, here's the shit. When you say they don't do anything, when you say, but they didn't do this, here's what they did do, and this is what we would lose. That's the part people don't want to recognize. They act like we're going to keep this baseline of shit and then gain something from Trump, or, well, we won't lose too much with Trump or whatever the fuck. And it's like, no, you do lose all the stuff that has been done by this administration, in addition to some new shit that you unforeseen ass niggas will unforesee again, and we will get more Supreme Court justices and shit. I'm thinking this last year, now that we're going into the last year of Biden's at least first term, at least, right? Mm-hmm. Hopefully we get another, but think about this. The Republicans would not approve a Supreme Court justice for Obama because it was too close to him leaving.
Mm-hmm.
How
that shit up?
If something happens to one of these Supreme Court justices today, how are we in a different situation?
We're not.
The only situation is different is the Senate is not controlled by Republicans, right? But we don't have like the supermajority thing. Like, we're still fighting tooth and nail by like one fucking seat every goddamn time. Amy, what is her name? Well, anyway, one of these motherfuckers could throw it out. Kristen Sinema could throw it out. Motherfucking dude from West Virginia could fuck it up. Manchin. It's that fucking close, and people they're not living like it's close.
Right.
They're living like there's some comfortableness in America where it's like, oh, we got this. We'll figure out eventually. No, the fuck we won't. All right. Let's get into the last thing, guys. Some of y'all send us stuff in the mail.
Yay!
That's a nice, sexy beat. All right.
Yeah, we went to go pick up the mail. They was like, "Merry Christmas to y'all." Like, they were loading y'all up.
So we got a lot of stuff in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna pull it out. I got some cards. I mailed y'all's cards out.
Yeah, you should be getting them soon if you ain't already got them.
This one says on the front, "It's the most wonderful time of the year."
Yay!
And on the inside, it says, "Sending you wishes for a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, Allegra." Thank you, Allegra.
Yay!
My girl, what's up?
I like Christmas cards.
Mary writes, "Oh, look at this one. This is like your great grandma's wallpaper on the back."
Don't it though? Look like a grandma's quilt.
It says, "Joy to the world," and it's like a little black choir.
Oh,
Look at them little black kids singing.
Y'all be finding them mahogany cards.
Rod and Karen, wishing you and yours every little sweet and beautiful joy of the season. You bring me so much joy throughout the year. Thank you. Wishing all the best for you in 2024. Mary from Cali. Thank you, Mary.
Oh!
This is sweet. This one has little Christmas tree stickers on it and stuff. I'll try to make sure you don't see the address, but it has Christmas tree stickers on the front of it.
Oh.
And on the inside it say a little Christmas tree that looks almost hand painted or something.
Oh.
And it says, "Oh, look at these little babies. Look at the little kids.
Oh, look at the babies."
It says, "Hey, Rod and Karen, it's Kason and Keisha. August 2021 is this picture. It says, wait, is this right? Kason 35 years and Keisha 1 year? That can't be right. 35 months, maybe.
Must be months.
But are they rocking the blackout tips shirts?
Oh,
The
that's
baby's rocking the shirts.
adorable.
Look at that. A Merry Christmas to you. $23.91 black gold. It says, I guess that was the title of the episode. Hey, Rod and Karen, wish you a very happy Merry Xmas and a happy New Year 2024. Sending hugs and blessings. Your day one baby fans, Kason and Keisha. Oh, listen, each one teach one is what I say.
That's adorable. The babies.
I know they be up in preschool and I know they be showing out. Okay, they be like, listen, let me see what you want to be. We got this one. It looks like a beautiful ornament on the front with a lot of glitter and sparkles and stuff.
Oh,
it says
pretty.
Merry Christmas. On the inside, it says, hoping your home and your holiday will be filled with happiness. And then Rhea, who sent this, says, wishing you a happy holiday. My internet cousins. Thank you.
Yay.
This is a bit of a longer envelope, like a standard one. So I guess this is a different size than most cards. Let me pull this out. And it is. It's one of those like postcard kind. It says, love and cheer. Happiest of holidays from Qatar and Trixie, and they got pictures of her and the
that's adorable.
And the baby doll. This baby doll is versatile. Okay, it's not all just wearing. It's got glasses in some of them.
Come on through, baby doll.
It's giving us lurks.
Yes, I love it.
Tanisha sends us one. And this car, oh wait, something fell out of this. Okay. Oh, there's like a car that fell off of it or something. I don't know if that was in it or
shit, that refrigerator magnet.
It was part of. It's not a magnet. I don't know what it is. It's like something paper.
Okay.
But it's supposed to look like, I guess, this maybe.
Okay.
A card with a bunch of Christmas presents on top, but I think it fell off in the shipping. Sorry. Inside it says,
I can put it back together, baby.
All right, well, that's your holiday treat. Rod and Karen, every episode y'all create is a gift. I'm so thankful for this show. I wish y'all all the love, health, and good fortune and continued blessings the holiday season and beyond. Tanisha, thank you, man. Appreciate y'all.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then we got another one on the back. It says Merry Christmas is like a bird, like a cardinal or something. Let's check out what's going on the inside. More birds, penguins this time. And inside says Merry Christmas, Rod and Karen. Thank you so much for helping me get through another year by keeping me company, making me laugh, and teaching me so many interesting things about this crazy world. I truly appreciate you too. I'm wishing for you a lovely holiday season and an amazing 2024 for you and your families and friends. May 2024 bring you so much joy, laughter, and prosperity, goodness, and love. Wishing you all the best in the new year. Always, Erin. Thank you. Erin. She always sounds like the decorated. Like, I'm not showing y'all oh wait, I can show y'all the front with no address. That's like, she always sends like the flowers and pictures on the envelopes and stuff. Let's go. We got another one. Let me see here. Look at all these cards, y'all.
Yes.
Y'all really was like, we're gonna make sure y'all feel this love.
Yes, you are.
Black woman cards, like a black woman with a big old afro holding some gifts.
Oh.
And then
that looked like an episode of Insecure with Issa walking trying to find gifts for everybody.
On the inside, it came with this Happy Holiday. And she's enjoying lots of our girl alcohol. I think this is our girl Veggie Vixen. And it is Angie, Princess, Leia, and Wookie Thomas. So those are her dogs and her pets. And they're all having in their holiday festivities and clothes. Rod and Karen, we wish you a happy holiday and amazing new year. Angie, Wookie, Princess, Leia. Thank you.
Thank you.
We got two more. This one, let me open it up. All right. And the winner is Rod and Karen.
Yay!
Have holiday fun with the gnomies is what it says, and it's gnomes.
Oh, adorable.
It says, wishing you a magical, blissful holiday. Enjoy the holiday season and have a great 2024 from Samantha. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the last one is boom. Oh, it's like a ice line on the front or something. This is an interesting, like some Steven Universe shit happening up in here.
Right? Oh.
That if you want to see the cards, you can go to our YouTube page when we post this, or Crowdcast if you want to physically see the covers. Dear Rod and Karen, hope your holidays are warm and bright. Wishing you more blessings in 2024 from Shanna. Thank you, Shanna.
Oh.
We also got some physical stuff in the mail. This one is the one that I believe we got the note about how to clean, and it's a chopper. Y'all know I like to cook and stuff, and one of the things that takes the most time in the kitchen, but it's also like there's just no shortcut. You just gotta it needs to be done. It's chopping shit up.
Yes, you got to chop it up. You can't eat the shit whole.
So I'm a big fan of choppers, but like this, and this is a Full Star Chopper Plus. And I go through these things. I've broke a few of them and stuff.
Wear them out.
Think parts go missing and stuff. So this just re-upped my chopper for Brandon. Said enjoy the gift, happy holidays, Rod and Karen. Brandon, thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, because he the cook in the house, so yes.
But yeah, I love it, and I love that it has two settings for like the really thin, like not thin, but like the really small chopping and the big ones, and there's also like a guillotine type thing and I think mandolin or something, the ones for like where you want to just slice like tomatoes or some shit like that.
Want me to get you the other thing?
I think I have it.
Okay.
Or I have my bad. I do have a opener in here.
Oh, no problem. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I was just trying to look for it on my desk. Yeah, we appreciate it is what I'm trying to say.
We do. Thank you very much. I like the cars. I keep the cars like an old grandma. I love the cars. All the sparkly shit I had one. I keep them in like a little baggie, and that bag filled up. So now I'm on bag number 2. I love the Christmas cards, y'all. And I thank you for those of you that was like, y'all sending us cards, we gonna send you cards. So like Roger said, he's already gone through the process. He dropped them off. So if you send us your mailing address,
some of y'all should have them now.
Yeah, some of y'all should have them. I know some people love to post them on social media and things like that. And I really like the design of these cards. We sit down and stuff them and things like that. So I'm excited that y'all are excited about getting y'all cards, which y'all should be receiving soon, depending on where you are. Shout out to the international people. We paid the upcharge to have it sent to you and your address. So I am really...
Someone gave us international stamps a long time ago, and then they like re-upped them. So, we had the international stamps on hand to mail y'all. I actually went and bought some more, got home, and was like, wait, I didn't need to do that. We already took care of this shit.
Yeah, so thank you. So I'm glad and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to y'all showing the cards and looking at the cards because it was really fun. It is gonna be a treat for people whenever they get their cards. I love this time of the year.
All right, I think I got it partially open. This is very packaged up. Okay, they want to make sure this shit did not break. It said fragile, and they weren't playing.
Yeah, because sometimes it say fragile, and they don't treat it like it's fragile.
Yeah, I'm not even really sure how to where the rest of this opens at.
Me either.
All right.
No,
it's like because it's fragile. I'm careful on opening. I don't want to just like rip through the shit and then it'd be like, oh, I just ripped it in half, guys. Try my letter opener. Sorry if it's awkward, everybody.
No problem. Go ahead and handle business. And for those of you, if y'all want to send Christmas gifts after Christmas or Christmas cards after Christmas, go to the Blackout Who Tips. Go to the About section. You can find our mailing address.
Yeah, so blackouttips.com/about.
So we don't mind getting it after the holidays. we're fine and we're content with that. I'm looking forward to it. And for those of you that was like, hey, I didn't have it before, but I got it now. If you want to go and send us something on our Amazon wish list, feel free to. You're not obligated to, but feel free to go out to the Amazon wish list and click on things and send us some things.
And the wish list is in the show notes.
Yes, it is in the show notes. So we thank you for that. And while Roger's doing that, something that will make us a very Merry Christmas, leaving us a 5-star review. So if you know you have not left us a 5-star review, do it. If you go, well, I done ran out of email addresses, y'all know y'all kids or a husband, wife, or somebody, y'all got somebody email address, steal y'all baby's iPhones and go ahead and leave us a 5-star review.
Yep, and excellent vamping, Karen. You did thing. You held me down while I was opening this.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking about all of the show notes and a lot of the questions, that we kind of get asked.
Yeah, you did it, because sometimes a while I need you to vamp. You'll just kind of like be like, I don't know what we supposed to do.
I'm getting better to paying attention to that.
You killed it.
Thank you. Because sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, what should I be saying? But I thought about it. God damn it, I'm a professional. So let me act like I'm a professional. And bam, while Roger is doing something that actually matters.
And that was a long one.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mind. I didn't mind at all.
No. I'm just giving you more props. So this is what it was. On the inside, it says, Dear Ron and Karen, I wanted to send you a print of my digital art to express my heartfelt gratitude for the incredible work you do through the podcast. Your show has been a source of inspiration, knowledge, and entertainment for me. I eagerly await each new episode for your wisdom, insights, and humor. The way you delve into topics and bring unique and thoughtful perspectives is truly a gem. Happy holidays, Desiree. P.S. You can see more of my artwork at DesireeFoston.com, and it's Desiree, DESDESIRAE, Foston, FOSTON.com. And this is the print she sent us.
Oh, that's absolutely gorgeous.
Isn't it? We got to get this framed. We got to hang this up somewhere.
Yes, we got to hang this up with some of our other stuff we got from some of our fans.
Make me feel fancy, why don't you?
Yeah, make me feel like I know something about some art. I don't know about nobody's art.
People going to be asking us stuff like, oh, is this from the Desiree Foston collection? I'm like, oh, yeah,
I be bragging on y'all. I be like, look, our fans got us this.
So, yeah, we definitely thank you for the print. And thank you, everybody, for everything, man. Thank you for listening, all that good stuff. I honestly don't know if we'll do shows next week or not. It just really depends on how we feel. I don't feel like burned out or tired or anything like that. So we might do shows or we might not. Who knows? Just up to us. And if you celebrate Christmas, have a Merry Christmas. I hope you're able to spend some time doing things that make you feel replenished and thankful and all that good stuff. So yeah. All right. That's it for today's show. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye everybody. Y'all have a good day. Peace.